Oh, look at that. Huh. Either way,
Um,
whatever. He's delayed. Just live with it,
all right.
guys.
I'm
You,
be
you,
like lip singing in your side on your side.
yeah, you're definitely you're definitely like delayed like a second or something like that.
Okay.
But it's cool, man. It's cool. We'll figure all that. We didn't get a chance to put this all together like super perfect, but whatever the hell. Um,
Gonna get some help from people.
yeah,
That.
exactly. So this is where the viewers and the subs and whatnot.
Oh
By the way,
yeah.
this is in sub chat only mode, because we want to keep this as clean as possible, as positive as possible. Me and Champ, when we were first thinking about making this podcast, we were thinking along the lines of, what else could go wrong, right? Like, let's just blow everything up, right? Let's just talk about everything, anything, and like there's nothing off topic, right? And then you start to realize that things are actually getting out of hand, So, with that said, like we realized that it's not in our best interest. It's not in everyone else's best interest if all we do is try to blow everything up, right? So we're gonna try to keep this, like before it was like at a 9, now we're on like a 3 or 4. We're gonna talk some crap, obviously, but we're gonna keep this as cordial as possible.
Right. Let me just say something, Chris, before we completely start. Okay. Hey guys. So look, this is coming from me, and Chris has nothing to do with this. Whatever I'm about to say. Okay. He is not part of this. Whatever my opinion is about this thing. Okay. So guys, look. I know some people you guys might like Chris G. Some people you guys might love Chris G. Some people you guys might hate Chris G, and it's just the way it is, right? And some people just hate me, some people love me, whatever it is. But guys, look, let's not try to go overboard and hate this man for the rest of his life, okay? Let's not try to threat him in real life. Dude, Chris has been dealing with so much already with all this drama that's happened with his sponsor, all this stuff. And I'm speaking for my own, okay? This like, but I'm saying like, guys, don't try to like report him to Twitch. Don't try to like badmouth him on Twitter anymore. Come on, guys, let's just move on from this, dude. Let's not try to like get his channel in trouble. I don't think his channel's in trouble, but I'm just like saying, moving forward, like let's just keep it, with us, guys. Let's just move forward, man. This whole FGC thing, let's just try to keep Chris G intact, okay? Trust me, guys. When you guys do this shit and he's gone for all you guys, what you guys are doing, you guys gonna miss him. I promise you guys that.
Uh,
It's just not. It's just that's not right. Like, so I understand you guys don't have to like the guy, but don't go overboard, man. Let's just move forward. Let's just move forward and see like the new future about this, whatever's happening in the FGC area that we're gonna talk about. But come on, guys. If you guys still had a lot of energy for hate, transfer it towards here, towards me, right? Because I'm kind of used to that. I'm not saying Chris is not, but I'm saying Chris needs a break. So now transfer the energy back to me. It's just come on, guys. Let's just stop.
let's take turns on accepting the hate right now.
It's my turn. It's my turn this week. Okay, Chris had his week. The other week it's my turn now. Okay, continue the hate on me. Have any issues? It's me. All right. All right.
All right, yo, you ready? You ready to get started? Okay. So obviously this is episode 1 of the Gods Canceled with, of course, your host FChamp and Chris G. Um, First episode, which is I think a very important topic to talk about, right? Considering everything that's been going on, the state of the FGC. Um, Now, first off, right, we could talk about why did we choose the name The Gods Canceled? FChamp,
Uh,
you came up with this amazing name. What was the inspiration behind it?
oh, I actually got inspiration towards I'm sure a lot of the if you guys been a fan of the FGC since the Street Fighter 4 era, there's this very very popular tournament in Japan, and it's called the God's Garden, right? And it's so, it was all the high level stuff, and because of this cancel culture and what they did and what happened to us, um, I think it just made sense to just call it that way. It's not like we're mocking the culture in general. It's just like, okay, we're just accepting whatever happened to us, and we're gonna basically just grow from that and use that as a motivation to better ourselves and maybe just have a better, brighter future for the fighting game community. Despite us using that title, is basically not in a negative way, but basically accepting what happened and growing from it. So we're just trying to be more positive about this, but at the same time, also using that as a pretty good clickbait in retrospect. It's pretty cool.
It is a super good clickbait for
Yeah.
sure. Like you see that name and you're like, oh snap, what does it mean? Whatever, yo, let's just click on it. Let's see what they gotta say. Um, but yeah, before we get onto everything, I just want to let you guys know that there is a donation goal, right? Obviously, this goes towards to making this a better production, and this is going towards me and FChamp,
Oh,
linking our
yeah.
streams up, and obviously we have this overlay. It's not the best overlay, but of course, anything helps, and uh, so the goal is, whatever you guys can afford or whatever you guys want to support, and what we will give you is whatever game that you guys want us to play. What we're gonna do is we're gonna play that game, right? Whether or not we have to buy it or whatever, and even if we've never played it, we're
Uh
going
huh.
to we're going to sit in training mode, right? We're gonna pick some characters. We're gonna learn the game, right? Maybe like a half an hour, so on and so forth, 45 minutes, an hour, if anything, and then we are going to play each other live. And what ends up happening
Yeah.
is you get two perspectives on the same game, two people learning a game at the same time, seeing how one person, learns a character, how another person learns a character, and of course, at the end of it all, we'll see who comes out on top, and everything that is done will be uploaded on YouTube. So, yeah, guys, support.
Okay, Chris. Chris, like, you know what? I don't think anybody in the right mindset would ever do that. People would pick Marvel 3 and would want us to see, like, what's gonna happen in this Parsec exhibition that we're gonna do in the first to 10, first to 15. That's what people would pay to watch. Okay, and let's not do it like it's gonna go like to me and you. Okay, it's gonna go to the winner. All right, maybe we can do the consolation prize of like 10% goes to the loser, 90% goes to the winner. Okay, so that's what the fans are gonna do. They're gonna donate for
The
this.
90-10, we're gonna do
We're gonna do
the
that.
biggie special, 70-30, you lose.
We're gonna do that, and it's like automatically you're getting third place, right? But there ain't no second place, so that's why you get 10%, right?
First or
Even though it's a
third.
two-man tournament, but you get third place. So that will be you'll be a first. That's like the perfect legend, right? It's a first to 10 who got 13 0'd. Well, in our case, we do a two-man tournament. One of us is getting third place. So I'm saying people are gonna do it, but if for a different reason. They wanna see that Marvel 3. Everybody keeps saying that shit for a while now about, okay, champ.
What you talking
I think
about?
we didn't make it.
We we
We don't even have to make it
Oh,
24 hours.
we
The
yeah.
could we
goal, we
could
could
play
stretch
some.
this a whole
Oh yeah,
week until the next podcast. We need to collect it until like the next podcast until it happens.
the
And
stream
we could
takes second. But yeah,
even
no,
take second place.
you're right. You're right. We could extend this to the next episode. Obviously, we'll have things a little bit more figured out. Me and F Champ will meet up more and talk about exactly how we want things to run. But again, this is just a prototype right now. Um, so yeah, guys, I'm gonna be leaving the donation link up, and yeah, we can make something like really happen.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think like also that's also a lot of positive in a way, because a lot of right now we're lacking content because there's not a lot of things happening in the fighting game community except for Twitter drama across the board. I think it's always good to also balance it out with a lot of high level gameplay and entertaining sets in a way. Because if we're playing, we gotta be mic'd on, right?
Yeah,
We're gonna
yeah.
be doing on stream. We're gonna play the Marvel 3. We're gonna do a set, and the people are gonna be so invested about it, and after they're so invested about it, they're gonna they can root for whoever. Your fans and my fans will like root for whoever, and it's just gonna create a lot of amazing content overall, which what's lacking right now. And I think right now we're going back to the positive side and actually going back to our roots, which is what we're good at, which is playing games. And right now, I think that's the best thing we can do is to get past this Twitter drama, whatever, and actually
Yeah,
come
play
back to our
some
roots,
games.
some
This is
games.
what we're here for, right? We're here to play some games. All right. Now, are you ready? Are you ready to start with the juicy stuff?
It's up to you, man. I'm the co-pilot. You know what I'm saying? You're the pilot. You
All
let
right.
me know.
So, right, the state of the FGC. Um, so I got a few topics written down, and of course we'll go by them one by one. We'll get to the juicy stuff, as time goes on. But for the first thing, right, let's talk about the fighting games out right now. So right now we got Street Fighter Five, we got Dragon Ball Z, Sam Show, Tekken 7, and whatnot. Grand Blue. Like, what are your thoughts on these new games right now?
Just a second. Shout outs to new subscribers, Samuel Sandoval. Thank you, man. Yeah, to answer your question, Chris. So all the new games, I think they're visually amazing and pleasing, and I'm happy that these developers are making new games because that's kind of like validating the future of the whole fighting game community, which I'm very happy about. I support every fighting game out there, regardless of how big the production, how small the production, as a support because I love fighting games. We owe a lot to fighting games, right, Chris? Because the fighting games is giving us a career. But like these new games, I think they're one thing they all got in common is that they all keep using the same um, mentally challenged developer who made those netcode, because the netcodes for some reason on the newer games got worse. 2014 games, 2013 games had better netcode. Like how did we regress? Like look at like the Skullgirls netcode, Killer Instinct netcode. Like they're very good already. Then the Rising Thunder netcode.
Yeah,
Why are these
when did
netcodes so good?
KI come out? Like,
It came out 2013.
yeah, 2013, 20, yeah,
Yeah,
I think 2013, yeah.
yeah. How come we regress like that? And then the other netcode, like how come? Okay, look at this MVCI netcode. For I know there's a lot of crap. A lot of negativity that comes along with MVCI because of the graphics and the characters and all the drama that came along with it. But I'm saying MVCI's netcode is one of the best netcode for a Marvel game. Seriously, you got people like Taekwa and American players getting to play with Cyber Agent Japan.
Yeah, I did hear that they played them long set, country to country, cross planet, and I heard it actually went pretty well, surprisingly.
And I'm wondering about this was like, okay, so when they're doing production for, I'm in the Capcom building or whatever. I'm on um second floor, um third ballroom, right? And then that's the MVCI area. And then you got Street Fighter 5 games in the second floor, fourth ballroom. So they're like the same area, when they're doing the production in this. For some reason, these guys didn't share the technology to the other guys because it didn't make sense to me.
Oh
I'm actually
yeah.
surprised that like they really just not talking to each other like that.
If you think about it, right? Because how come the net code of this game is way better than the other game? It's like night and day. So you can play from country to country with MVCI, but you can't even I can't even play Chris T from SoCal, and we live in the same state, right?
Yep.
Like, so that was just a big that's just big to me. And ultimately, the reason why the fans have a lot of outrage about these things is because we are so passionate about fighting games. We just want to play the game that that the developers made. So we want to play the game. But with the shitty netcode, we can't play the game that we purchase to play with our friends or our to our viewers or to our fans or to our competitors. We can't play the game that we purchase. We just want to play the game.
Yep.
And it's not really asking for a lot. We just want to play the game with a decent experience. And at this point it's 2020 and that's still a problem. Oh man, I love
We're,
fighting
we're,
games, but I just can't play fighting games
we
because
need to
our.
we need to move forward. Like uh,
Go
um
ahead, Chris.
like right now this is 2020, right? We are in quarantine. We are stuck in our houses. It To me, I find it crazy, right? So Grand Blue recently came out, right? That's the last fighting game out right now, the newest game. Honestly, the gameplay is pretty good. It's Street Fighter esque. Uh, so footsies are a big thing, all right? But I I was looking forward to the game. The game came out. I started playing the game. I was loving it. All right, because I'm like, wow, like I could hit confirm. I could do like jab jab super and stuff like that. Like there's so many things I could do. But what I started to realize fast is that right, the game came out. Obviously, it's quarantine. Cool, so there's no tournaments. Very important thing to notice is that there are no offline tournaments. So what are we forced to do? We are forced to stay at home and we are forced to play these games online. Um, I actually don't stream the game anymore because I realized that the same way as everybody else, that like no matter how much we want to like the game, when each one of my matches is 4 frames or higher of lag, not less, right? It's not like 3 or 4 frames less. No, it's 3 or 4 frames plus, and I realize that's just crazy. Like it is an experience that I don't want to deal with anymore. I'm like super super tired of it. And at this point, there are only a few fighting games that I can play online. Um, have you played Grand Blue at all?
I was gonna ask you about that. After you stopped talking about Grand Blue history in general, because I had no idea about it much. So when I came back here in the United States in March, apparently Grand Blue has been out for a month or so, and obviously I'm very very close to Ricky Ortiz. And Ricky Ortiz told me like to basically check out the game, and I check out the game. Remember, I talked to you about it on Reflex when we hang out there,
Yeah,
and you were explaining to me what Grand Blue is. You and Flux. Remember that, Chris?
yeah. We,
Yeah.
we, we had we had some high hopes. We were talking positively about the game.
Unfortunately, like now every time I watch, Ricky play Grand Blue, and Ricky's just absolutely demolishing whoever you put in front of her. But the problem is they're
Oh, hold up. You canceled.
oh,
You
sorry.
canceled.
Even the mic canceled me, huh? So what I'm saying is, it doesn't really matter, like because she can't really prove like that she how dominant she is in the game because there's no tournaments, and it sucks because damn sure it will still be the same players in general are gonna dominate that game because the game is very straightforward and in strengths like you, Chris and Ricky, you guys have very strong fundamentals in general. So I felt that that type of game was like gonna benefit you guys, and that's gonna even add value to you guys in general as well. But since there's no tournaments, it was like the worst time for Grand Blue, and now their online sucks. Obviously, instead of adding more value to your guys' name, you guys weren't able to do that because of the corona, right? Which sucks. So, what do
Yeah.
you think about that game, anyways?
I think like okay. So final round was supposed to happen. What is it? March.
First,
It was
first,
March 1st. Damn. Okay.
21st, 21st,
Oh,
21st.
21st, 21st. Um, right. I had just recently moved, and I was really looking forward to starting the tournament year. I was really really looking forward to it. I had really started practicing Street Fighter 5 again. You know, uh, Dragon Ball Z obviously, new season. Um, and like so many other games that like I was like I'm really looking forward to playing, but the main game that I wanted to enter at final round was Grand Blue. I really wanted to play some Grand Blue, and I really wanted to showcase, like, hey, yo, like I got this. I got these footsies, like let's do it. I'm about to body everybody. I'll make top 8. I really think I could have made top 3. Honestly, I was so confident in making top 3 in that game, and like obviously everything went to hell, and I was forced to play this game at home, and I just realized Jesus,
Play.
my motivation for the game just decreased and decreased and decreased until I was just like,
Yeah, for sure.
it's not worth playing like, and obviously for you guys who are playing the game right now, for you guys who enjoy playing the game right now, of course, keep playing it, keep loving it. I ain't gonna tell you guys what to play, but at the same time, I started to realize that the numbers were dropping insanely quick, and I was fighting the same guy 20 times in a row, and that just not
Let me
fun.
ask you. Let me ask you about that, Chris. So you said like you just want to show seasons. Has anybody doubted that? Like, let me ask the audience: have you guys doubted the Chris G footsies?
No, but
Because you said you wanted to show some footsies. They
yeah,
doubt that. Has that ever been doubted?
no, but
You
I
doubt some of them?
just I, ju-
I
I
just feel like forgot the 10 years. Like this is where it drives me crazy. Like, sometimes people tend to forget. Wait, we just forgot those, huh?
oh yeah,
Has that
well,
ever been doubted? They just forgot 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. But anyways, basically the lesson here in general is I feel that if there's any game developers out there listening, is that your consumers and the fighting game fans in general, we just want to play your game. But please make a product that we can continually play your game. And Grand Blue is a prime example of it. People were very passionate to play the game, but unfortunately we couldn't play the game
yep.
because it's so unplayable to play it online. And in result, it lost steam, and now nobody gives a fuck. And that's why, regardless how good the gameplay is, how much time you guys put into it, and I'm sure you guys can always be like, okay, we're putting X amount of thousands of dollars in the pro tour for it, and I'm sure people are gonna play it, right? They would, but right after that, nobody would care again
Yeah, we could
because yeah,
actually um we could talk about like the Smash scene. Melee made their own netcode. You know, like I
amazing.
and I've been noticing that a lot of people have been playing older fighting games. Like Justin's been streaming CVS2 Alpha, all sorts of games. I've been watching a lot of people play some Marvel 3 Parsec. They're still making MVCI online tournaments and stuff like that. And like a lot of people, they are going back to the older games. And like,
Yeah.
is that really a good thing? You know, like if everybody's like, yo, you know what? Just screw it. Let's just play some Super Turbo. Like screw it. Let's just forget Street Fighter Five. Let's just go to Melee Online. Like
it,
instead of
it
looking
that
forward.
it just shows that how much ahead Smash is compared to
Up, hold up, hold
the
up.
biggest. Oh, sorry.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
cut again. Okay, I'm saying like Smash is the biggest, most independent community far, where it's not even close. Like you see how like they do their own tournaments, they bring their own CRTs. They're the most passionate, biggest, organized in general. Sure, they got some dirt that resurfaced lately, but that's not to take away all the hard work that they've done. Look, they even made a netcode for their game, bruh. Like that's just how passionate the Smash community is. And I don't play Smash, but I respect their community and I respect all the hard work they put in. Dude, they revived their game. Their game has been revived literally like 5 times already. Right?
All right.
Like, they did a bunch of that game got cloned. They did a heart transplant, and they won't never let. It doesn't matter if Evo puts that game at Evo. That game will never die because the hardcore fans are there to support it. And yeah, and they have an economy going, and it's pretty cool. And they got their own rules, and the tournaments has to follow the rules that they've actually came up with as a government body of their community. And it was just crazy. It was just it was really crazy. Like, let's say Evo said like this person is not banned or something, but if the Smash community says this person is banned, that person can't even go to Evo. Like they're
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like the Smash community is legit, and I felt like that was the blueprint for every single community out there to follow. I swear, because they did it right. They did it right. They actually had people that's not just the top player. Top players will always have the voice in general, but they also have the actual government body, who can decide about certain important things, about rules of the game. It's kind of cool. So I respect the Smash community. And it's just amazing. And I wish like our community is like that as well. Yeah.
And that's the thing. I really do wish our community was like that as well. I wish we banded together, as much as they have and they've done, and they keep showing us that they don't even need pop bonuses. They're showing us that they don't even need support. They're showing us that, they don't need
Big
anything.
difference.
They don't. The fact that they didn't even have an online, and they were showing us that they do things better than,
Okay.
I guess we're gonna obviously put them in the FGC, but for the sake of the argument, they're doing better than the FGC, which is why they come up with their own rules.
Okay. Let's take an example. Okay. Let's just say at one point, me, you, and Jesse were like the biggest in like our game. Miss Ortiz right here, right? Let's just say argued.
What
that
the
you could
hell?
argue that.
Ricky's over there.
Of course, Ricky's here. Yeah. So okay, so in Smash, like let's say Mango, like and Armada and those guys are the top guys. Okay, they have about 8,000 to 10,000 subs, right? Okay, in our fighting in community in the street. Okay, I'm sorry. In the fighting in community with like the other fighters aside from Smash, sub count that we've all achieved. About my highest was like 800 at one point, and like we didn't even come close to the Smash level
Not even
popularity.
close.
Not even close. So I'm saying like as far as the support of the fans and how big their fan base is in general, it's not even close. Because one reason also they get to play the same game for decades, right? We don't. We have to transfer to another fighting game that some of the fans will be left over because they don't care about the new game. They just want to play their game. So imagine if we played Marvel 2 from the start and that Marvel 2 just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. We never replaced that. And then that game just became that. Then we will probably have the same level. But then we have to adapt and learn a new fighting game basically almost every 2 years, right?
Yep. That's
So
that's definitely hard. Like imagine learning a new fighting game every 2 years, and they're just honing their skills. Like,
yes, fan base just keeps growing. And then Nintendo just keeps making like 25 new Mario games. And that just creates more fan base to the Mario, franchise or whatever. So their fan base will just never really like die. It just keeps growing. Yeah. So it was like it's a perfect timing for these guys. It was just amazing overall. And I'm a fan. No hate, no shade whatsoever. I'm a super fan of their community. I'm very, very jealous about that.
yep.
Very, very jealous. Very jealous.
All
I
right.
think I'm gonna fix my mic better. And I'm very, very jealous to their community. I think it's something about my threshold on my mic. Threshold on my mic that I need.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is the threshold. When you move it closer, it picks up better. But yeah, moving on, right? So we mentioned a little bit of Evo, right? And of course we mentioned the Smash scene. So, right, we are the gods canceled, and this is the state of the FGC. So of course, my displeasure, right, in this next topic, Evo being canceled, the Smash scene being destroyed, allegations everywhere. What does this mean for the scene?
Um. So me first, right?
Evo first. Evo being
You go first.
canceled. That is
Uh,
that is one of the craziest things that will ever happen to the FGC. And what are your thoughts on that?
okay. I said this a few times already. In our, some of our side streams, but Evo being canceled. By the way, they canceled it on their own because of the drama that just happened, right?
Yeah.
But Evo kind of like semi-canceled it itself already because of the COVID-19. They weren't able to host a live event, so they just have to sacrifice and do an online event, which is terrible for our fighting games because our fighting games online sucks. And they have to resort to games that are not as popular or main title as well to even just run an Evo, right? So overall, it was already a losing battle for them. But yeah, Evo not being like available this year or being canceled this year was the biggest hit that we can take in our fighting game community overall, because it hurts the overall economy chain in our community. Because most top players, or most up and coming top players, not like the top of the food chain top players, okay, um, these guys get sponsored because the sponsors will look at, like, okay, maybe a good investment to invest in a pro gamer right now in fighting games, because there will be Evo and we can have a right representation in Evo, because during Evo the whole week of the gaming world is blocked by Evo news, right? Every single thing from, like, well, we saw this person arrive, this person in pools, oh my god, Daigo lost in pools, it's a big deal, everything trends on Twitter. So Evo is like a different tier on its own when it comes to holding its own in the esports world. It's just a big deal. So most investors, most sponsors, they do put in money, to the players, or to for a pro team in general, because of Evo. And sure, there's other reasons, like maybe he has a good following, maybe this guy can stream, maybe this guy can do I'm also compete in their pro tour for whatever reason. But one of their biggest benefit, I mean, one of their biggest decision makers would be like, well, is this guy going to compete at Evo? Are we, hopefully, is he going to place high? Because we're going to get the most a number amount of impressions by this guy competing at Evo and potentially killing it at Evo, and we can sell this to more sponsors on their end as a team sponsor, right? And so not having Evo, dude, trust me, is like a big hit. And we have to wait another whole year for this. So now you basically broke the chain, the overall chain cycle of how new players or up and comers are getting sponsored. That's going to get cut. Now it's going to be even less people is going to get sponsored. Less people are going to sponsor events. Less people now, instead of like every year we get new set of eyeballs that watches our community. Well, we don't get that this year. Absolutely, we get zero of that.
Yeah.
We regress big time. We absolutely regress big time. This is one of the biggest thing.
Be-
Like, I swear.
because Evo not being there, like exactly as you mentioned, right? Sponsors. A big thing about having a sponsor is they want you to compete at the Super Bowl, right?
Yes.
Like imagine being on a team and you ain't playing in the finals. Like so people are starting to realize, like, damn, okay, no Evo, we're holding these players, so it's gonna be like a whole year of paying those players or whatever, supporting them,
Yeah.
and it's a bad look because they're realizing, oh snap, like they don't even know what's going to happen next year, right? Obviously, going into 2021, what are the cannons gonna do? Is Evo gonna be as big as it was? Especially after this quarantine stuff is over. Let's say February or March of next year, right? It's done. Quarantine is done. We can finally go out. We can finally travel. We can finally see our families. So on and so forth. Let's say they announce Evo again. Now, the thing is that, like, will it really be as big as it was? Considering all the drama behind it. Like, what do you think the cannons are gonna do?
Dude, the cannons are genius. But you guys gotta understand, they did this.
Uh,
So I actually believe the cannons is gonna make it even bigger than ever, because you don't understand, everybody's gonna be so thirsty to get to Evo in general, right? We're just gonna be like, I'm so excited. We never got a chance to go to a live event for a long time. Everybody's gonna go to fucking Evo, okay? The only thing that we got that's bad is that we don't have a new game next year. So that's going to hurt the Evo thing, because we don't have a new game until 2022 of February or December 2020 2021. So we don't have a new game. So the next year at Evo is still going to be Street Fighter 5 for the Capcom guys.
Damn it!
So it's just all bad, right? So in that aspect, it's just going to suck. Right. So unless they do something creative, like they're gonna bring up back a lot of the popular games. Okay, let's just bring back Marvel 3. Let's just bring up Street Fighter 4 and other things. They're gonna do a tournament of legends for Marvel 3 and Marvel 2. Let's just say whatever the fuck it is, right?
I
Just
feel
to
like I
add
feel
more
like that
value
would
to it.
I feel like that would be a good idea, honestly.
Right? Just gonna do that, and that's not even me being like, okay, well, because I'm gonna participate in those. Nope, no, it's not that. I'm just saying, not a lot of people give a fuck about the other games overall. That's that's if you're a casual fan. If you're a hardcore fan of the fighting game community, you care about those ones because that's your community. But I'm talking about like for the outsider perspective, like the guys that who just works in a restaurant, who just watches stuff, who just watches this, just plays sometimes. They know Street Fighter 4, they know Marvel 3, they know Smash, and that's basically it. Like, and they know those are the games that they only know, and until now they still play them. And so now they don't see those, they're confused. That's why our numbers drop because those are the guys that we basically market on for the last 10 years.
Yeah, technically speaking, right? Like, if we're talking about numbers from the past, even when Marvel 3 was dying, the viewer count was still some of the highest. Street Fighter 4, it was actually rising. Numbers was actually rising. And Street Fighter 5 obviously came out, brought some hype, but
I thought it was vacuum. Never mind, do it.
who who knows what would have happened if Street Fighter 4 would have had a couple more years, especially seeing how fast things was rising.
Do you know what happened to Street Fighter 4? Okay, so I'm gonna give you a story about this. Okay, so Street Fighter 4 was supposed to be let go already. On 2014, early 2014 was the December 2013 was the last day supposed to be of Street Fighter 4. Okay, I'm telling you, that was the plan. I promise you this, Chris. Promise you this, bro. I promise you. Are you hearing
I'm
me?
listening.
Can you hear me?
I'm listening. I
Yeah.
got you. The stream got
All
you.
right. All right. So that was supposed to be the last of Street Fighter 4. They're gonna pull plug on this. Are gonna go in on Street Fighter Cross Tekken. And they already know Marvel 3 was selling a lot, so they know they're good. So they're trying to double down on them by like making another game that they can sell with the Tekken franchise without putting a lot of work because they can just copy paste the characters from Street Fighter 4 and just add a new values without making even the graphics nice, right? The graphics of Street Fighter 4 might be better. You can argue might be better in Cross Tekken, despite of whatever gameplay benefits that you gain from Cross Tekken, right? They're
Yeah.
basically the same, right? They just copy paste, so they save a lot of money in production. So they're trying to got greedy.
Oh,
Unfortunately, Cross Tekken sucked
yeah.
ass, right? So bad that the first tournament we did was NCR. And all they did was time over, jab, 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 right? Infiltrate. It was time over, and it was the first time that Cross Tekken was the main event. Was NCR.
Yo, he definitely walked jabbed me to death, and I was in grand finals of that event, and yo, I never felt so oppressed by one poke. I was like, God damn, why am I playing this game? Like, it made me question everything. Like,
It's like Chris G didn't know how to play fighting games. You know how weird that sounds?
yeah, like literally, I felt
Like,
so stupid. Like, I didn't like. Obviously, we saw Valenta, and we're like, all right, you know what? He's gonna be jumping around. Nope, he's gonna walk and just.
so
And okay, dead.
that's what happened. But the game flunked. Game flunked, and they tried to save it with a patch, obviously, but the patch was too late. That's what happens. The patch is too late. The game dies. The game dies. Well, and luckily for them, Street Fighter 4 was a loved game, right? Because it was a good game and it was exciting and has been, through the veins of the fans. So Capcom was like, shit, we fucked up. We ain't making money on this game. What are we gonna do? We're so far from Street Fighter 5. Let's just triple down on Street Fighter 4. Let's just release Ultra Street Fighter 4, which they already said many times this is the last version of Street Fighter 4. This is the last version of Street Fighter 4. Well, they always have a backup. Let's create 5 more characters or so, release it, put some new DLCs, and we're set. We're Gucci. Sell it for $30, and we're happy. So that's how they recuperate their funds, right? In a way, and that's what basically happened to that. And what's funny is that it's a recurring theme because that's exactly what they try to do with Street Fighter 5, but this one right now they have to extend it for a year and a half more because it's supposed to be the last year of Street Fighter 5. But since all the corona thing happened, MVCI flunking, they don't have a new source of income, so they're just gonna delay the other one and just focus on Street Fighter 5, release season 5 of Street Fighter 5, release 5 new characters, which is that's their I feel like at this point they're preparing already to fail all the time. So they already has a backup plan. Because they got so good at it. So good at it.
You know what? I can't even argue that. I feel like everything that they've been doing has been like a worst case scenario plan. It's really crazy to think about, but it's like, yo, like if this fails, we at least we got this now, you know. Like we could
I'm gonna
still
say,
we could still make a new season. We can
Oh
still, do so on and
yeah.
so forth. Um,
I'll say something though. Oh, this okay. And this is, by the way, everybody, as you guys know, I love Combo Fiend. I've kicked it with that fool for like, for 10 years. Love him. Love him. Swear. It's my friend. We always consider us a friend. Filipino brother too. So he's half Filipino, right? And half black as well. So we've been gotten really, really close throughout the years. And but the one thing I'm gonna tell you guys this, okay? Seth Killian. So he basically replaced Seth Killian or took the role of Seth Killian, which is by far so difficult because the shoes, or whatever you want to call it, the boat of Seth Killian is too hard to basically fill in general, right? Because Seth Killian is just God, right? He's just God, right? Everything
he
he touches
does.
is God, right? So
He plays Mexican style. He be looking like a final
uh,
boss with his hands crossed, you know.
no, Killian is just Jesus. Think about it, okay? Seth Killian put his hands on Marvel 3, and he's one of the producers of that, and was hands on in that. He did Street Fighter 4 as well, and he was hands on in that, and he fought Capcom for all these changes, and he was really adamant on how the game should feel. And look how those two games came out. Okay, they were absolutely like the golden era of fighting games. What he's touched and what he's worked on is the golden era of fighting games. It was the best time of being a fighting gamer. The best time to being a fighting game fan was the era of Seth Killian when he touched those games. Do you agree, or you have a different opinion?
Oh no, I 100% agree.
Okay,
Like those games,
right,
I grew up playing, and it made a big name for all of us. And obviously,
absolutely.
we got to thank this guy for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I give him a lot of I give him all the credit in the world, and he's worked on the Riot stuff. I'm sure he's done with his advice on that as well because he's given his input. So I'm very excited for the Riot fighting game. But this one I love Combo Fiend to death and everything like that. But when Combo Fiend replaced Seth Killian, and I'm sure a lot of the other staff as well left, so Combo Fiend had a new staff and stuff. Coffin did not have a good run at Capcom, despite him doing a good job overall on his best of his ability. But for some reason, the games that he's touched or been a part of, it's not all entirely his fault because he's fought Capcom Japan with all his might, but it's just one person, so he doesn't have a lot of pull yet. But the games that he's worked on has been somewhat questionable. It's not entirely his fault, but he's part of it. And I don't think I will blame him for it. But like, look, just think about it. Seth Killian was like 2 for 2 and was just all golden era. Combo Phoenix comes in, and it's not his fault, by the way, guys. I'm not blaming my friend of this, okay? But the situation is he had Cross Tekken, he had Street
Yeah,
Fighter 5, and MVCI.
damn,
So
and
it's 0 for 3.
damn, ooh,
Right?
that's
Some
not a
bad
good
stats.
three. Yeah, that's not
Some bad
good,
stats.
man.
Yeah.
And
I'm not blaming him for it. Oh,
it
I'm
sucks.
blaming him for that.
He's definitely a good
I'm
guy too, man. He didn't
guy.
deserve these games, yo.
Oh,
He deserves some better stuff.
think about this, guys. I wanted to talk about this for a long time. In the same time, I don't want people to take what I'm about to say like out of context because this is not me shitting on him because it's not Combo Fiend who makes the game. He's giving advice to these developers that he's fighting with. The guys, we want this to be like this. We want this to be like this. And sometimes he does. One person does not have a big enough voice to convince the entire company who has their own beliefs already what they want to do or they have a deadline that they have to meet and he can't really do that, but it's such a bad timing, right, overall for him, despite him putting so much. Dude, you don't understand, like Kamafine moved to NorCal to work with Capcom in general, so he moved closer to me, and I'm very close to Kamafine. Obviously we used to be training partners, used to be teammates as well. I used to go to his house in SoCal, so I'm very close to him, and I couldn't even like kick it with him like consistently because he's so busy working on these games. So busy. So he, as far as like hard work is concerned, he worked his ass off. But he didn't get the right team. He was such a bad timing as well. Man, it sucks, man. But like he is 0 for 3. He's 0 for 3 in that, and it's not his fault. It's just part of the bad team. So it just sucks, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely it is awful. Um, all right, moving on. So obviously Evo canceled, all this stuff canceled. Now in your best opinion, right? Everything's going to hell right now. How do we fix this? Right? Like there's allegations out, harassment. I'm not gonna talk into specifics because we're not gonna do that. There's no reason to anyway, right? If you want to look it up for yourself, search everything up for yourself, make an opinion of your own, right? But there's a lot of stuff going on, and a lot of people's uh, a lot of people have been hurt. A lot of people are getting canceled. A lot of people are getting justice. Um, but moving forward, how do we fix this?
Oh man, well, actually, this is very forward at this point. There's no fixing it. So think about. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard or seen the movie Purge. So we are in the middle of Purge right now. So a lot of people start like violent stuff outside, start killing everybody and stuff. And now survive. We end up hiding in the panic room, Chris. Survive. Okay.
You have 6 months. I repeat, 6 months to destroy everything. And we will start from scratch after that.
Yeah. So I hope after this purge. By the way, the thing is, with our purge is not 24 hours. Our purge is a good 6 months, right? So we've basically survived a month, maybe like 3 months purge. Okay, so maybe we have 2 more months of purging. Like after, because there's still a lot more stuff there that I know that is so bad, but obviously it's not gonna come out from me. It's so bad, and people need to address those eventually. And when those things come out as well, there's gonna be it's gonna be another shit show. Dude, it's like it's just as bad that right now if those things come out. And I'm happy that I'm not part of it. I just know I just know. But I'm saying like when those things come out, it's just gonna be so bad as well. And but the way to move forward from this, how are we gonna? It's just basically we're just gonna survive to this and just build it again from the scratch. And that's why we're doing this podcast, Chris, and we're doing um this thing like to play, because at the end of the day we have to go back to basics and play video games and play the video games that we love and produce content for the fans. That's why, guys, you guys gotta get the goal going, because your boy is about to smash Chris G right now in the Parsec Marvel 3. You guys want to see this first to 20, first to 15 for me, Chris G, and Parsec, guys? And the winner takes 90% of the pot. The loser gets 10% because he's about to get third place in a two-man tournament. Okay,
That
um,
just sounds OD.
a guaranteed third place. Okay, so I'm just saying, um, fans would love that, and so I think we just got to go back to our roots and create amazing content that way. We're gonna do this mic'd up. We're gonna play some games. You guys gonna see Chris G at his best, which is killing people in a fighting game.
Wait, body.
There's really no fixing it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Okay, there's really no fixing this overall. Goal is just to keep playing games and just move forward from it and stay away from trouble. I think
yeah.
we just gotta play games and produce content, podcast, be consistent with our podcast. Let our audience know this is gonna be a weekly thing at the same time every week. And yeah, I think this is great.
Like it's pretty weird to think about, right? Because obviously, we are going through our own stuff, in terms of the scene. But the way I see it, right, and about actually almost all of the things that I'm seeing right now, like I didn't know that people had that side to them, right? And to think that like your favorite player, your favorite commentator, your favorite TO, so on and so forth, have these skeletons in their closet, like it's very important to bring that stuff out to light, right? Because obviously, like I could be friends with somebody too, but if allegations came out that they were doing the things that I'm hearing about, like that, like it only makes sense to one, remove them from the community, but two, like if there are real serious accusations and stuff, you let the the courts. You actually let the courts deal with it, right? If they have to pay the time, for their crimes, then so be it, right? Like at the end of the day, we do want a safe space for everyone, all right? And
Agree.
this is what we're here to do. We're here to play, as you mentioned, right? We are here to play video games. Fighting games specifically. This is the fighting game community, and the last thing you want, is child predators, stuff like that, freaking like actual danger, right? Nobody wants to be in a room with somebody and something might happen. Like nobody wants any of that stuff, right? And honestly, I wouldn't want that, right? I wouldn't want any of my friends to deal with that, and of course, the rest of the FGC community. Uh, I wouldn't want them dealing with that either, and
Sure.
it's very important that we weed everyone out, and this is how we're gonna have to move forward. It hurts. It hurts to see that these people are, you might not see your favorite player ever again, but at the same time, some things have to be done.
Yeah. And at this point, we're basically just a bunch of top players, and we're just using our platform to basically talk about our things in general. Because right now we don't have enough power to basically sway the entire FGC to do something, right? It has to be a collective, and right now we don't really have a way to bring this all back. Think about it, right? We're just basically our reach. We have a pretty good platform, but our reach is limited because what's going on right now. And and for once, I agree on just going for the positive side, positive note, because I think that's what our community needs right now: more positivity, more games, more playing, less drama. Because we had enough drama for the next 10 years already. We
Yeah.
do.
Oh
Like,
my God. Who would have thought most of this stuff, like, usually you get we have a thing, if you ever go on our Kappa, one of the worst sites ever, they have a thing called Blow Up Tuesday. And
yeah,
like you especially maybe like a couple years ago, you waited till Tuesday to get that blow up. But it's almost as if it's Tuesday all the time.
yeah, for sure. I actually think our Kappa expanded. Actually, got expanded because before they just stayed there in their Reddit hole. They just stayed there, right? And now they expanded to Twitter, so they became bigger. so
No.
yeah, so these guys got more powerful than ever.
You,
So
you you are very right. Some of the stuff that I've been seeing on our Kappa the last couple of days and week or two, it's like it's almost as if they've been holding out on this information for years. Like some things that I'm seeing are from like 2011, and I'm like, how did you even have this? Like, I man, oh my God.
yeah, for sure. Hold up, Chris. Let me just talk about this. Okay, so you know how like obviously Mr. Wizard, all these things that came out and resurfaced was really bad, and he deserves what's coming for him, right? Obviously, if these are true and accurate, and he absolutely deserves it, whatever he's gonna get from it. But when I read some of the chat, and you guys are talking about like he's like a fat f, like he's like this, he's fat, this, and then now, so think about that in other aspect, like what if this person decides to like I just feel like countering that with another negative comment, guys, just needs to stop already because I feel like it's just too much. It's over. It's done. He got the worst out of everything already. He lost Evo for himself. He's a part owner. I'm sorry. Then he lost his power as a community leader. He got shame on Twitter already. Come on, let's just thanks, CJ. Yeah, so it's just over. It's
You know,
over already.
you bring up a really good point. Like we really shouldn't be cursing people out, right? If you're gonna do that because of what they did. Don't
Yeah.
be like, oh, uh, like you said, right? He's slightly overweight. Oh, he's this, he's that.
Yeah.
Oh, like his looks, because obviously there are other people. There are humans on this planet, right? And it's crazy to me that like you are really attacking looks and
Yeah.
certain other characteristics when you really shouldn't be, because you're affecting other people. And honestly,
Yeah.
like, let's stop that. We need to move forward, and
Yeah.
like positivity,
Oh,
positivity everywhere.
yeah.
Because I think about it, what has his looks or his physique has anything to do with it, right? And
Nothing.
I'm sure there's other people with like the same physique, the same look, maybe different look in general, who didn't do anything close to what he allegedly did, right? In general. So as far as like looks is concerned, like you shouldn't do that because there's other people out there that might get affected and might get sad or might not go to tournaments because they might think other people might think about him this way.
Yep.
So obviously, I've said a lot of bad things also in the past, and I'm not like scaling down on these things, but I'm just saying like I don't want to attack people based on their looks in general like that, And I'm sure I made those mistakes back in the day as well,
Yep.
and and
Same
and
thing here.
I've made those mistakes. And, Um,
We
think
are.
it's not good 'cause I made a lot of people randomly cry. Like I was so mean on some of the tournaments, like so there was like this guy at Evo. Forgot his name. I played so many people at Evo, but this guy was like, in his boys were like all there, and I was there wearing my headset. I believe this is 2013, and I was the defending champ. Whatever, I go there, play this guy, and it's like yeah, it seems like they're like a bunch of haters on my stream, but then I end up playing these guys, and these fools start talking shit, they're trying to distract me while playing, and then after I bodied this guy in Marvel, I got up and I started saying all the nastiest shit that I can say. I said, "You motherfucker!" Like this, yada yada. I started doing that, saying all the loud stuff in front of their face, and I said, "Like, you're in my house. I need you to get the fuck out of here." Like, I started doing this shit. I was so fucking, but like, and this fool got so embarrassed. Okay, and I just had a rant of like a good 10 minutes talking shit about this guy, and it's
Jesus.
like literally 10 minutes. I went in, really went in, and this fool was like legit crying. I'd never seen that person anymore. So I've legit like removed one person in the FGC default like that, and I felt bad for that. And I saw one of his friends, in 17 actually. I saw one of his friends that I recognized, and we were doing side bets and stuff, the Street Fighter. And I said, "Hey man, I don't know if you remember me." It's like, but back in like 4 years ago, I kind of was really mean to your friend, and I don't know if you're still friends with him, but like I just want to say like I'm sorry to him, and I hope he's still playing games. And it was just like in the spirit of competition, But I kind of went a little bit too much, and I said apologize to that person, and he's like, no, dude, he's still playing. He just doesn't want to travel anymore because he said he's not good enough, so he lost confidence. No, dude, tell him to travel, dude. Like
Yeah, God.
he's good enough. I, I made this guy stop going to tournaments for four
It's
years. So that's why if you guys actually pay attention, 2017 FChamp has scaled down so much. I don't seriously, 2017 me, I've scaled down so much on those because I've promoting people to go to tournaments constantly, but I've actually caused people to not go to tournament. Like this is one person at least, for what I can remember. But I promoted people to go to tournaments. I've took my time to talk to new people. That's like go to the tournament. They said this is their first time and they're watching the stream for so long. I take my time to explain and talk to these guys and say, hey man, I hope you guys are having a great time, and like all this yada yada. You could also do this. Go to this salty sweets. It happens at night at this time. I give them all these random information that you can play games. But then I felt bad because of what I did in the past. But then I learned from that mistake. Basically, the lesson learned there is that I made a mistake there and I fixed it and I've got better at it, and I start promoting people and helping people to actually go to tournaments more. But like I learn from my mistakes. So I think the lesson for me is just I
Yep.
regret that, and let's learn from our mistakes and move forward and be better overall.
That is the most important thing, right? Like, people make mistakes, and like we could talk about those mistakes all day, or you know, start fresh, start new, you know, and try to be positive from that day on.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, now, right? So, speaking about, moving forward, the future of the FGC, right? So, right, we have quote unquote games coming out, right? We have quote unquote plans for the FGC, right? Especially after all this Corona stuff is done, I feel like people are going to. I hope people will go ham, on going to events and whatnot, right? But I guess we could start off with, what do you think about Street Fighter 6? PS5, MVC4, Guilty Gear, right? Are you excited for any of those games? I know for sure. If there is an MVC4, if there is, I hope there is one. I'm at this point, I'm actually looking forward to anything, and
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh
I don't know if that's
yeah.
even like good enough to even at this point, but with PS5, new graphics, new everything, I want something new. You know what I mean? And I'm hoping, even if it's Street Fighter 6, I hope it's at least semi decent. Guilty Gear, I hope it's at least semi decent. And all we can do is hope that it has a good netcode. But
Look, bro. Look, I've been canceled by Capcom, so I can say whatever the fuck I want to say. Right. Uh, like people have forgotten already what I did. And actually, my offense was on the absolute bottom of the barrel. Eh, And for some reason, they still haven't lifted that, and I don't want to lift it. I want to remain banned for the whole year. I do because I want it to be also an example for people to not be as insensitive as I was when I made that tweet. I don't want to remove it. I don't. If ever, if they say like we're removing the ban or uplifting the ban in general, I will self ban myself as well because I want it to be an example for people to learn to follow my to not follow what I did, or to learn from what I did as well. So I would still not go. I would self ban myself for a year, out of respect to the movement. So, but yeah, despite that, I hope they unban me, but I will self ban myself. That's what I'm asking. Right. I would ban myself, self ban. But like I hope they unban me because it just gives a negative connotation, like indefinitely global ban. Are we serious here, homeboys? Like, but yeah, it's just a very bad word to just throw it out there. But I would honor it and not go to the events. They could push it to 18 months if they want to too. I would do it. I will still self ban for myself 18 months. And but anyways, I I don't have any NDAs right now, so I can say a bunch of shit. But yeah, but basically, I said this already. Street Fighter 6 was under production, and it should have been really. It should have been announced at Evo this year, or about Capcom Cup, and it should have been released around like March or February next year already. But since the Corona happened, and 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 the Olympics, and it's part of like the entire they have a contract with CPT, and then CPT. Street Fighter Five is gonna be part of the Olympics Tokyo 2020, but it got delayed by one more year, so they kind of have to delay all of that because it's such a great opportunity for our esports and Street Fighter Five to be part of it for Olympics. So everything kind of got delayed. As far as the Marvel was concerned, I believe like around like this is like around 2018, 2019 ish. I think they were like under 2019, yeah, 2019, yeah, early 2019. I believe they were already working on something, and I can't say it's Marvel, but like they're working on like a versus kind of game already. But I don't know what happened to that because obviously lost a lot of connections to Capcom. I don't know anybody there, but they're basically, if it was an option select already, like if they don't get the the actual characters or the character rights in general. So basically, they made all the functions for all these
functions, the
characters, right?
functions,
And
SAT
and
word, function.
Yeah, the functions. They made it already. They made some of it already. If they don't get the rights from the other company, which is like the Marvel company or whatever company they were trying to work with, they're just gonna put a Capcom character on top of that function and then just make it a Capcom All Star. So they basically prepared options to select. But with all these things that's happened and Street Fighter 6 being delayed, so I don't know what happened to that project, and it's already 2020, 2021. So I don't know what happened. So if that also got delayed, but I'm sure Capcom was working on that for sure. But I don't know what happened now, because I've lost touch with them, and so that's where it is, and I've completely lost touch with that, and I know Capcom's not gonna stop producing fighting games for us. The difference is if they're gonna produce quality fighting games,
Yeah,
for us, and
that's.
and it's a question of the millennium right there. But yeah,
But like I said, right? and I feel like a lot of people agree that we just want something. And man, it is all about playing fighting games, and regardless of what that something is, even if Guilty Gear sucks really bad, at least it has rollback netcode, so we could we could actually play Guilty Gear online, with our friends and whatnot. Street Fighter 6, if it comes out in Marvel 4 or whatever game Capcom makes comes out, I hope that it is they do use that netcode, and I could play my neighbor without having to lag,
Absolutely.
for 35 frames. But
Absolutely.
speaking
Right.
speaking of new fighting games, right? Obviously, the one that is creating the most buzz and the one that may or may not change the game, right? We're obviously going to ask you as well. The
Sure.
the Riot fighting game.
Oh man, that was great. Oh man, that's the future right there. Because one, the canons are touching it. They've been working on it since 2015 already. The which is the alpha, which is Rising Thunder. They were working on it already. Netcode is already good on that end. But obviously they got bought out by Riot in general, and they got Seth Killian who worked on it as well, which is a big deal. So everything seems right. Plus, they got a real esports company like Riot who's handling it. Look what happened to Valorant as well. They took a lot of strides in general to promote the game. So I can't see it failing at any point because it can't get any worse than the other games that we have right now. It can't get any worse. On top of this is for sure gonna have a good netcode.
It can't get any worse. Very important thing to mention. It cannot get
Can't.
any worse. Even
Sky's the
even if
limit.
it sucks, there are two important things that you have to understand. One is netcode. I'm assuming, and I because Rising Thunder had a really good netcode. We're hoping that this is the exact same, maybe even better. And then the number two is, and like, we don't like to to throw this word around, but in situations like this word is very important. Money. Okay,
That's a
money.
big deal.
Money is a big deal, and you could be like, oh, I play for the love of the game, or whatever. Uh,
Deal.
you could believe whatever you want, but we are going to assume that this game will have money behind it. Do you really think that that will bring people everywhere, including people who have never even touched a fighting game in their life? You think
Will.
that's gonna bring people to this Riot fighting game?
Riot fighting game in general is gonna bring about a new 10 million people, new people into our fighting game community instantly because these are the people who love League of Legends, who fell in love with their characters in general throughout the life of League of Legends. And now they're gonna make a character out of that. So that character alone would have a following default. And then you add the Riot marketing and all these other things along with it. And plus, obviously Evo running Evo, and then the Evo guys are making Riot fighting games. So they're just gonna get all the right things positive for them. And the money is good because that means it makes it look grand and it gives the up and comers, so there's gonna be more up and comers in general that's gonna strive to get that money in general. The top players in general are like, money is good, money's there, sure, but that's not really the main motivation factor when you play that game because if the money is there really big and the game is popular, we're gonna get paid regardless, even if we don't get that because our sponsors are just gonna pay us as like really just it will scale down to the actual how much money is in that pro tour or in that league, whatever it is. So the sort of prize money of that tournament was like, okay, it's good bonus to have, but in general it just makes the whole community strive for, because there will be more up and comers that will push up the playing field. There will be more streamers as well. A lot of up and comers wants to do it, right? A lot of different fighting gamers from different fighting games will play this game because of the money, right? And now there will be more
Imagine,
competition.
just real quick,
Sure, go
imagine
ahead.
$1 million tournament and getting top 8 at $1 million tournament. That's the game
Oh,
changer.
it is for sure because you get like 100 grand or something, 100 grand or something, 80,000 in that. But because you understand it, there's like $1 million tournaments already for a fighting game. and you're one of the top players that's consistently making top 8 with those, or top 3, or winning, whatever, your sponsorship level in that one is going to be very high already. So it's like you're getting top 16 every month at that point. So
Right.
it's yeah. So at that point on, it's like that. Like obviously, these guys that plays Dota who wins like millions of dollars or something like that, their salary is massive. They're easily making about like $500 to $1 million a year already. Sure, they win, yeah, right. Then they win like the Dota tournament, which they won. I don't know. Then they split it into 7, obviously, or 6, whatever, and they make about $2 to $3 million each, right? So in retrospect, they're making their salary is basically the price, maybe like 15-20% of it. So in general, the bigger the prize pool is of the pro tour, it scales down to the salary. And because the bigger the prize pool is, the bigger the market is. The bigger the market is, the bigger should be your salary because you have a bigger reach. So it's kind of all scales down. So the prize pool being up there will just validate that it's going to be a big deal. So more sponsors would come in and pour in more money in general. So it's pretty straightforward. So I'm happy for that, and I'm happy for that because it gives the next generation, the generation after us, Chris, these guys, it gives them a good future moving forward, and that will continue the fighting game community, which is great.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
actually, another thing I wanted to touch on, right, is so we all play these games online, and rank is not a thing. There is no such thing as rank because it doesn't matter, right? There's no real system in place that makes these things important. And I feel like one big aspect that we are missing in fighting games of the future is a real ranking system. That means something. You know what I mean? It should mean
yeah, yeah,
something. I
it's
feel
true.
like with a Riot fighting game, imagine making Challenger in a Riot fighting game. There are only 100 spots. I forgot how many is in League, but imagine like only 100 spots, and me, you, Justin, Ricky, all the international players. We
Sure,
are part of that 100.
100 is too much. Make it 50. Make it cutthroat. Make it
50, yo,
cutthroat.
50
Make it 50.
challengers.
It's a 1v1. Like the riot, it has to be like, because it's like 5v5. So that's why it's 100
Oh, you're right. You're
or
right. Yep.
thirty-five.
It's one. Make it 35.
Make it 35. You know what I'm saying? Like, make it cutthroat. Let's see what's up here. Make it cutthroat. I want it to feel good when you make it to challenger. Obviously that's gonna be free. That's not a challenge. Like to be top top 35 in the world on any game is easy, right, Chris? At this
I mean,
level
I
that we
mean,
play,
I mean, I
there-
look. I'm not.
come on,
I'm not gonna, toot my own horn,
that's
right?
free as hell.
But
Be top 35. No, I'll do that on my sleep. Want me to be top
I'll do
35?
that in my sleep.
Like LPN is top what? 170, right? The
You
world.
said 170.
So I'm just saying,
No.
take it. Top 35 FGC, like that shit's free. Like that's not even a challenge. 35 challenge is the top to be the top 17 to top 10. That's really hard. And then from top 10 to the 8, that's a big jump. That spots, that's such a big jump. Then from 8 to 5, that's massive. From 5 to 3, and then the top 3, that's just a whole new different ball game. So that's kind of like how it all scales down. But fucking top 35, dude, that is
Hold
like
on, hold on.
anybody.
Ask Ricky right now. Is Ricky getting top 10? Is Ricky gonna be top
Okay,
10 of Riot
the
fighting
question.
game?
The question.
Is
Repeat it, Chris. Sorry.
is Ricky gonna be top 10 in
Are
Riot
you gonna
fighting?
be top 10 in a right fighting game? Easily. That's
Easily,
10.
easily.
Like I'm saying, like okay. So let's say Justin Wong plays a game, right?
Hold on,
Top
cutting off.
30. Sorry. Let's say Justin Wong plays the game, right? You don't think Justin Wong will get top 35 in the world?
Yeah, yeah. I think there's a spot, a seat with our names on it.
Yeah,
That'd be
right.
pretty
It's pretty
nice.
easy. They need to see you, apparently.
Oh, they need to see Ricky.
Apparently, yeah. My chat says.
Oh snap! Wow, Ricky with the
Okay,
come in and out instantly.
guys, I'm just gonna let you guys know this, okay? Since Ricky's here, right? I need you guys to stay off her DMs, okay? She's been getting harassed by all you thirsty motherfuckers throughout the years, and I can read all your DMs, okay? Sister here shows me the DMs, and it's just been funny as well. It's been comical. So I need you guys to stay away from her DMs, okay?
Leave
Chill.
her alone.
Leave her alone, because it's just crazy. He gets more DMs on these thirsty guys, more than I get like DMs on hate. Do you understand the scale of that? It's a
that,
massive scale.
that is a massive scale, yo.
Yeah, so I need you guys to just chill for a second, guys. Okay, I don't want to hear your like the way they shoot their shot is hella funny. Some of them I have said like, so I also play Chun Li and I like spinning bird kick. So what are you doing? Can I get your phone number? Like those bullshit ass lines like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm pretty goddamn sure. It's just mad funny. So I saw your tweet back in 2017. Apparently, you like this drink. I'm drinking it right now. I think we have something in common. Like, can I get your number? Like shit like that. Like, motherfucker, watch a movie or something. Work on your patch your vocabulary, patch your game. Okay, that's what you need. You need a DLC on your game. Okay. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah.
All right, I think we touched on almost every topic. So I guess we'll go into Q&A. If any of you guys have something good to ask, all right? Not some dumb comments, questions, whatever, but if you actually have something interesting to ask us about the community, about the future, or the past, or whatever, ask away. We'll take one from
Yeah.
each streams.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, my chat guys, give me a question. The nicest question, okay, not filled with hate. And then obviously in ChrisG's chat, you guys ask around as well.
Okay, I got one. Would the NA players be willing to be more international when it comes to gaming and whatnot? Now, obviously, it all comes down to sponsors, right? It's hard to travel everywhere. All of us, we all want to go everywhere. We all want to go and represent, our countries and whatnot. This isn't just NA. This Japan, places with small scenes where they don't get much coverage. Like if more money is in the scene, let's say with the Riot fighting game, like that means more sponsors. That means more players can go and represent teams. Obviously, increasing competition around the world. But yeah, it mainly just comes down to sponsors. Like
I think Chris,
go ahead.
finish. Oh yeah, what I'm saying is, like NA, we're gonna be more willing to be international in general, which I think we've had. Like most of our top players in NA has actually traveled internationally. The problem, guys, there is not even like the challenge of traveling internationally. It's just that NA is the focal point of the CPT. So more top players will travel mostly in NAs. If you're already in NA, and all the points are here, all the bigger tournaments are here. So why would our sponsors send us to Asia, which is more difficult in general, more expensive, and less points? That doesn't make sense. So as a business standpoint, it wouldn't be a smart choice to do that. So I'm sure let's say if the focal point of like the Street Fighter 75 is in Japan, and that's where all the points is. I'm sure we'll be traveling in Japan, and our sponsors might even just like houses over there and just make a gaming house there, so we don't have to keep traveling back and forth. So it's basically like that. But right now, it's in North America is the center of esports, and esports in NA is bigger than Asia in general because we're more ahead, we're more progressive in general. And esports in Japan, obviously, it's not as big as over here because over there they even need to have an esports license and all these other crap, right? So that's why.
He said, "I like how EU isn't mentioned. Don't worry, we love our Europeans. Okay, our God Problem X. Okay, we pray to that man at night sometimes. All right, don't worry, Brian Hart. Of course, we love you guys. All right, we can't say everyone. We can't say everyone.
actually made a mistake there. Obviously, NA and EU, I always like put them in bunch because I played like Warcraft 3 here and there, and NA and EU obviously for some reason like over there in Warcraft 3 EU is better than NA, and I don't know in fighting games right now which one is better. Okay, let's just say even for whatever it is, but like usually it's NA EU versus Asia is usually like that, and NA and EU esports scenes are always been flourishing and always been ahead of the game. So that's why a focal point is over here in the west, over here in this side of the world. So that's why most top players don't travel on Asia as much because all the big things happen over here, right? I'm not saying the things don't happen there, but they don't definitely happen as much over here. Um, yeah. So I got a lot of stupid questions actually. So I don't even know which one to pick from, but there's like a lot of crazy stuff on my end. We
I,
talk
I
about a bunch
actually I actually have two good questions. Ray actually put one as well.
of Ray Ray say.
All right, Ray Ray's question, and then I'm ahead. I feel like we need to touch on that topic, spicy ramen.
Eh,
Wow, but Ray said this is very important. What do you think about complacency after you've reached financial security through your sponsorship? Ooh.
Oh shit, that's a good one.
That is a really good question. I guess I'll start. I'll start. Why not?
Sorry, start.
Um, so going for me, right? For me, my experiences being in the FGC, right? I've been around traveling. I would use the quotation marks professionally, because I wasn't sponsored. I was just YOLOing across the states and trying to make as much money as possible. So it would be more of a hustle than it was a job, all right? But like I remember going, three tournaments a week, 3 tournaments a week, and we're talking about New York City, Philly, New Jersey, every single week. New Jersey twice a week sometimes, right? And obviously I have no car, so I would bus it, I would train it, so on and so forth, right? Now, right, when I got sponsored, that when you start seeing real money, it it's very weird, right? Because it puts things into perspective. You realize that certain things are more important than other things. Me going like me losing sleep, even though my appetite was amazing, right? I wanted to win everything and anything. Um, Doing stuff like that was, let's be real, just not a good idea. Um, because sometimes I'd be stranded, like it put a lot of strain. But when you start seeing that money, and I've noticed for a lot of other people, they get sponsored and they lose that drive. For me, that never happened because the only thing that when I got sponsored, I was able to travel other places. Now I was able to travel to other states, right? So I went to my first CEO. I went to Evo. I went to all that stuff, and I realized that uh, playing in locals wasn't as important as playing in majors now. So my focus was a little different. I do notice though that when it comes to other people, they're like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. This loss doesn't matter." You have to remember that like losses add up. So and I noticed that people like they're like, "Oh, it's okay. I have next week to do good or the following week to do good." You should never see it that way. You should be like, all right, this tournament is everything right. This major is everything right now. This game is everything right now. It doesn't matter if the major is big or small. You've your company is paying you to go there, right? So your sponsor is still at the end of the day spending that $600 flight and hotel, maybe more, $700-800 sometimes, to represent them. And I see it. I've seen it a lot. For me, again, it's a little different because it went from locals to majors. But for other people, I see them fail a lot when they get sponsored, or maybe it maybe not even be the complacency. It could be just that the pressure behind having to perform well is also like really really scary. And I know a lot of people, especially like when they go to the evil stage, you could be your best player in your backyard, and then you go somewhere else, and then now you're garbage. So there's a lot of different things, but never ever ever be complacent in anything, right? If somebody gives you an opportunity, that opportunity should be like, okay, I'm doing decent. Now I should do great. Now I should
Yeah.
win other stuff. Now I should, like so on and so forth.
Okay. Answer to that is, so with me, I always want to earn my keep consistently. So, and I want to please my sponsors, and I know what's my sponsor. I know what my sponsor needs, and would like. And so let me give you a prime example. Okay, let's just say, um, I win a tournament, and I was just like, say somebody. Let's just say somebody wins a tournament, for instance. That person would generate about 500 to 600,000. This is like 50 to 150,000 impressions, maybe like 300,000 impressions on social media posts, Twitter. Everybody's going to talk about that person, for that span of 2 days. And that person is going to generate that many impressions. That many impressions is going to average for the month. And sponsors would use that to actually sell that to newer team sponsors that they can put in their team jersey. Okay. That's why winning a tournament matters, because you create more champions, selling point to get sponsors overall to their team, and generating impressions, one of the easiest ways to win a tournament, right? So with my case, I look at it like, okay, oh, so that's the game, impressions. I need to create some goddamn impressions. So creating storylines, winning tournaments, placing in high tournaments, creating rivalries, creating exhibitions, drama, stream. So I don't know if you guys remember this, but 2017, I actually did a tweet series of MVCI news from the start of like all their command list, tweeting about videos. I didn't get paid for this by Capcom whatsoever. My goal there was to generate as much impressions that I can, as much like max impressions that I can, and I generated 7.5 million impressions within that week. That E3 all the way to CEO week. So that was absolutely massive, and I secured one of the biggest sponsorship deals after that. So it was just, so the name of the game is the amount of impressions you do it. So if I would have won, let's say, a CEO at that time, for instance, I would probably get like maybe 300,000 impressions, because CEO is a big deal. But what I did there was I was able to transcend to different types of people, and I was able to do that as a selling point. So now they see like, oh my god, his engagement and his reach is ridiculous. We could sell this. So I use it that way. But I was, as far as complacency, I was never complacent. And I'm sure Ray knows this, that I'm always been very competitive, despite if there's no money on the line or there's money on the line. I always play my hearts out. But the business side of esports, I have to maintain that and have to be great at that in general, because that's where the game is the amount of impressions, the amount of people that would like to click or talk about what you just did, regardless of negative or positive or anything, content wise or news. Those things are the ones that matter, because you generate a default. So it's like you're winning a fucking, it's like you're winning 3 tournaments a day, the amount of impressions that I was generating. And that was more massive than just winning a tournament at that point.
You bring up a really good point, because I was winning almost everything humanly possible,
Yes,
and
yes, you were.
I realized that, like a couple years ago, after I moved, and all hell broke loose, and things was rough for me in West Coast. I realized, and obviously winning for the most part is very important, but winning isn't everything, right? And I realized that at that moment. I was like, damn. Like I just, I got second at Evo. I still won so many majors, and like, and I'm watching a lot of the other East Coast people. They're doing the same thing, right? They're winning their tournaments, they're doing all that stuff, and they're still like, just like me at that time, we're not seeing opportunities, right?
Yeah,
So
and I
so
told you about that before.
I realized that, damn, there's other avenues. You know, like
Yeah,
I can't just be that bad guy who just wants to win stuff all the goddamn time and tell everyone screw you. Like
yeah,
I'm just gonna focus on getting the W. That was
yeah. It's a good
and
attitude though.
I wish I would have known that earlier, right? Like
Huh?
I wish I found out that winning wasn't everything, even when
Was
I
it?
was winning, because at the end of the day, it would have helped me more if I had done a few other things, have taken on a few other projects, so on and so
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah, for sure. Because look at you, for instance, like, so obviously you're already winning the main games and placing really high in the main games and stuff. But aside, you didn't get satisfied with those results. You even try to win like the bullshit side games, like the absolute, like people like enter like 16 players only, the fucking 20 players. I'm not saying like bullshit, like those games sucks or the community sucks, but I'm saying like you decided to put some time on those to enter all those games. Instead, you could have used those times or use your some space in your brain to do more content or come up with like some new ways to please your sponsor or to create more impressions. Like I was thinking about a pretty good skit or a plan for a rivalry. I'm thinking about how to create drama about this thing or like how to get some talking points. Like on a certain like exhibition, how to create this and that. How much money can I extract from the tournament organizers is going to have my exhibition. Like that's what I'm thinking about. Like, and then what am I gonna tweet? Okay, what deal can I cut at this TO about? If I can promote this tournament, how much do I get out of it? Do I get a cut from this? Like that's what I'm thinking, right? So obviously you're a true champion. You're focused on absolute winning, but then you're also focused on winning on the other games. But I was trying to win on the other things as well. But this one is like
The Twitter W, the
yeah,
sponsor W, and
yeah.
you know it
That what matters a lot.
it
Oh,
does. It
yeah, it
matters a
matters a lot.
lot. That
So much
YouTube
more.
grind, that Twitch
Yeah,
grind, like I wish I took streaming as serious as I am now. I wish I was doing that back then. And
yeah.
obviously, Champ was ahead of the game. So at that point, it really wouldn't have mattered if Champ was winning or not,
Better at
because
that point.
he did something before so many other people, and he would have gotten sponsors just off of that, and
I learned from Justin, bro. Like you gotta understand, like Justin Wong is the absolute role model for anybody who wants to get into fighting games. He's the absolute like role model, right? So I modeled like most of my career towards Justin Wong, minus like being the bad guy or the heel. But during this time when I was an up and comer, and I looked up to Justin Wong, watched all the Justin Wong stuff. Justin Wong was just already a Jesus already at this point, and it's like a mountain to climb. And at that point, I actually got sponsored almost the same weekend as Justin Wong got sponsored, and I was a rookie, but Justin Wong was like a veteran already at that point. I'm not saying like it means something, but at that point, Justin Wong was like my motivation. Not like I didn't ever consider Justin as my rival. I looked at him as a motivation in general, and he was just an absolute monster. So when I look at Justin, like, he was just doing everything right, and it was just so helpful to have somebody like Justin like over there, and it also became one of my closest friends and I learned from. But then I realized during this time, Chris, it was Justin Wong, and you got Mike Ross and Daigo. Usually these are the faces of the FGC at this time. Ricky, everybody was a good guy, and I was thinking, damn, if I do that, nobody would ever talk about me, nobody would ever give a fuck about me. So I need to come up with an idea that I can like rise to the occasion and basically be different.
that
Okay,
that
we're
that,
gonna
that wrestling,
yeah,
that WWE
yeah,
attitude era. You know what I mean?
sure. We're gonna be a super Hiro, CJ is like, dude, you just gotta be the villain, dude. Be that cocky person and create all this havoc and craziness, kind of like the boxing too as well. And these guys have told me like to be that, and it was great, and I did it, man. I was like, who's gonna be my main target? They said Daigo. I'm like, dude, you guys are crazy. Daigo, so you got to talk shit about Daigo constantly. So I did, and it was really bad. But that backfired in a way that and then I ended up beating him in the tournament. So it was just validated everything. So it was just like I got lucky, and it just it just went straight all the way to the end, and it was just so everything just worked out, I guess. But yeah, everything was planned already. It was planned when I was modeling my career in general. I planned it already. I was gonna be like this, and this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna be a bad boy. I'm gonna be the villain, and I'm gonna accept it. There's gonna be a lot of hate, and they told me, my friends told me, there's gonna be a lot of hate and backlash about this. I was like, I don't give a fuck. As long as my real friends know who I am, that's the only thing that matters. Because people are always gonna hate, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what my haters think, because they're always gonna hate, right? So it only matters what my real friends thinks about me, and so that was my motivation about it. But yeah, everything was crazy at that point.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you have a question on your end, or are they just going ham
Um.
on your stream for some
Let's
reason?
see. Uh,
They seem to be going ham on your stream.
let me see. Talk about airless. There's a lot. Hold up.
Because if not, I have another big one.
Let me see. Hold up, Chris. Let me see. They asked me if that is pretty cool. I guess they asked me if the KBR stuff is real. They asked me. Let me see. Let me read the full question.
Yeah, my hair's still
the,
short, guys. No, there's no ponytail. It's gone.
like when you had the rivalry against KBR, was it legit? So I answered and I said it was rehearsed, but it's only rehearsed on my end because he didn't KBR did not download the vocabulary patch and the DLC patch and the personality patch yet. So he hasn't purchased that season pass. So 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 it wouldn't really make sense for me to do that, right? So I only rehearse on my end, and I'm only getting paid on my end as well. He's not getting paid for that. He's basically going to be a punching bag that time. So it is rehearsed. It wasn't planned. He was a planned. Obviously, everybody knew it was going to be a landslide, but I made it the most entertaining as possible that I can, taking the most number of heat as well. And also the ending on the next day, which is great. It was fucking amazing ending. That's easily one of if they say like what is your greatest failure, like, or your greatest loss for something, I won't even put that as my greatest loss. I feel like that's one of my greatest achievements too. Like losing to KBR in that day, that was really great. That gave me hella impressions. You don't talk about. You're talking about impressions, dude. Until this point, you're talking about that. That's a win.
That L was very, very important. Now it's kind of crazy when you think about it, right? Because like what you go, people ask you, oh, what's your biggest loss and stuff like that, or like what impacted you the most and whatnot. Like when you think about Champ's situation, is that he was saying what he was saying about KBR. He was egging him on. He was washing him left and right, and obviously the exhibition happened, and it was exactly what we all thought, right? He got destroyed. But that match at that and what is it? You put him in losers, right? That tournament? Yeah, you put him in losers, and then like everyone's thinking, damn, this saga is over. Like it's done. Like just end it. But then that grand finals happened, and it not only did it open the book again, it started a new chapter. Like, and instead of closing the book and just saying R.I.P. KBR, that's it, you're done. Instead, it created YouTube videos, freaking, everyone talking about it, everyone tagging Champ and KBR, and like everyone was hype about Marvel, which is very important as well. At the end of the day, it could just be about the two players, but it came down to some Marvel. Like we watched Champ lose, we watched KBR win, and Marvel just it just came from the ashes into something amazing again.
Needed that because Marvel was dying already at that point, because that was the last legs already. Marvel was dying already, right? At that point, 2015, end of 2015, it was already dead-ish. 2016, I'm sorry. Because Street Fighter 5 was out already. So Marvel was already in his last legs, 2016-ish. And it was losing steam. There was still people, but I'm saying 2016 was the very last year that it mattered. ish because 2017 Marvel became a morning game, 7 a.m. fucking top eight, and we didn't really have a lot of people, right? Even though, despite it, I love Marvel to death, but that's when our game didn't become a main game anymore. We're not a main title anymore. 2017, right? And that sucked, and I hate to accept that because I love Marvel game. So, but yeah, that's what happened to that one.
All right, so I guess we'll end it with this question. I wanted to talk about, somebody actually mentioned it again too. Um, do you guys think creating female leagues in the FGC would be more empowering and make competitions more accessible to female players? And I guess to touch on that as well, I'll pretty much add in, like, how do we make things better for females in general? How do we make it more welcoming to for the FGC, right? Like, we want more people in here in general, and this includes, obviously women and children. Not We don't want this to be like a male dominated field, and like pretty much anything of that nature, right? Like, we don't want them to feel uncomfortable, right? So,
Yeah,
what do you think about creating a female league?
we shouldn't do that. That's bad
It
because
is
we're
bad.
we're, we're we're promoting equality, and I don't think female players in general like can compete with guys. I actually don't think that way. I actually think that the guys just put more time in general. The guys just put way more time than females overall. Like just to sheer amount of numbers. Like I'm not saying there's obviously going to be exceptions to the rules. Like I'm just saying guys would play way longer hours than girls does. And then yeah, so I think more practice, more results, and just it is. I'm not saying girls in general don't practice as hard as guys. There's more guys doing that, so in likelihood there will be more high top players in general. Just look at it like as math. I think everybody's capable of anything. I think it's just the right approach, and also I don't think there's also right system of like because obviously the females in the fighting community, some of them have been a victim of sexual harassment or whatever in a very unfortunate way, and so most of them are not even that excited to train with a lot of guys in same room. They're not as comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like these that's a that aspect. They're also losing a lot of potential training time. But also I can't blame them because they're also afraid at the same time. That they're losing a lot of that potential learning aspect. And I wish like there's a better system for them to also learn as well. I would love to see someday like a female would like dominate the entire tournament, right, for the first time, and that will create history for fighting games. Trust me, that will be one of the greatest moments of fighting game history, dude, because that will open more doors to our community, create
Right?
more eyeballs to our community in general. That's a good thing. Trust me, that's a good thing. Like, I'm all up for it. All up for it.
Yeah.
I don't think a female division is just bad
Yeah,
to do that.
the female division, would semi be a bad idea, but again, it touches on the aspect of making things better for females to enter the community. Um,
Yeah,
I just think it, like, we just need to be more welcome, and with all these allegations and stuff happening, weeding out all the predators and whatnot. Like, the ultimate
yeah,
goal is that we want them to feel as comfortable as possible, and
true,
we
for
we
sure.
are we are moving towards that. Like it or not, it obviously looks bad right now, because there's so many stories, but the end result will be a cleaner and better FGC for
Sure.
everyone. Um,
Yeah.
because, like, honestly, the ultimate goal, right? Exactly. I want to see, a girl just body champ. I want to see it. I
Bro,
want to see
I lost to a girl.
I want to
I lost
see
to
a
a girl.
girl body freaking Justin. I want to get bodied. Like, I want
Yeah,
a girl to win a major. I want a girl to win
I
Capcom Cup.
agree.
I want to see just
So
something
good for us.
exactly. I just want to see it all.
That's so good for us. Like, trust me, like because it shows that anybody, regardless of the gender, race, it does not matter at that point. You know, you can win a tournament if you put the right dedication. It's just a good message for the overall public. And if this person works so hard for it, and man, that would be really good for the fighting game community in general. And it's just awesome for that. This is what I do think. Okay, You talked about earlier about the legit ranking system. If there's going to be a like the ranking that matters, obviously it has to start with netcode and the player base, right? It has to start with those two, right? But then when you actually have a legit ranking system, actual legit netcode, legit, like, you it would be like grandmaster or master, grandmaster, then, like, I don't know, like a diamond before that, then it becomes like challenger, right?
Yeah.
Or they call you like Jesus, whatever you want to call it now, at that highest level, whatever. So they should do tournaments specifically over whatever league you're in, for instance. So these guys on the up and comers, or the guys who just started, the guys who are in the gold level or the silver or platinums in general, they can have their own tournament. They can have their own tournament, and they could be happy if they win that tournament, because some of these guys, they just want to compete, they just want to play, but they also want to play with people within their level as well. Sure, there will be people that's going to destroy these guys in general, like on their level, but that's just on any level. But like that would be great, because it's not good to see, like, let's say an up and comer, like, let's say if you're a platinum type of level player, obviously you're like already 60%, top 60% of the world or something, or 70. I don't know the right number, but it's probably higher. If you're a platinum already, and then when you fight somebody that's like a super, like, professional, like really one of the best of all time or something, when you play this person and let's say he's a challenger, you feel like every single decision that you make is wrong, and that, right?
And it
Sometimes
doesn't matter if you're a man, woman,
doesn't matter.
child, grandma. You could be a dinosaur. You're gonna
Yes.
look like a fool.
Yes, and that's bad, because that also impedes that person's growth if you hurt his pride and ego. Say if that person put in like about, 60 hours that, per week, and he started from a super rookie, absolute no idea about fighting games, and then he did it for 6 straight months, and he understood what fighting games is all about because he watched all the videos, he studied some frame data, he played 60 hours, 40 hours per week, and then he finally became like a super platinum, for instance, right? And then he said, "You know what? I think I'm ready. I played for 6 months straight. I've been playing really good." And I agree. Other thing, his progress is amazing. And then since he's not seeded, he fights goddamn Chris G first round in Marvel 3, and then did not even touch your character once. Right? And then he's gonna be like, no for me. Done. I'm quitting. You just lost one potential player someday. So I'm just saying, like, that will happen in tournaments in general. But you also want to have tournaments that targets for those players as well, because you want to protect their ego, and you want to protect also, like, you want to also give them motivation and give them also something to look forward to or something to be proud of as well. Not just like all losses. You want to, yeah, basically make them happy in a way. So
Yeah, like
that's what I feel.
doing gold only, or maybe like up to platinum and stuff like that. Like that, that's good. It is like you could argue that it's bad, but at the same time, if you want people to come into the scene, like it's not like you're not going to get good gameplay, because you'll still get some stuff. You'll get some gems.
Yeah.
You'll get some good content. It's not going to be the highest level, but
Yeah.
at the same time, let's say netcode was good, right? Let's say me, you, do punk, everyone, right? We all entered one tournament, one online tournament. Now, mind you, so that means that
Uh-huh.
we got rookies versus goddamn grandmasters, right? It's just not a good look.
Yeah.
It really isn't, because then like we are pushing people away, whether we like to admit it or not.
Obviously, there's still gonna be some open tournaments that anybody can enter at all levels. But what I'm trying to say, we should also have tournaments for specific league groups, for instance. So these guys can also be happy of their accomplishments. It's not just always pros that you're highlighting. What I'm trying to say is that we should highlight every skill level and promote those guys that's worked
Oh,
really hard to be like from a
yeah.
rookie to a platinum, because that's a big jump in general. Like kind of like that. So I'm just saying, like, what I'm saying is like let's not always focus on the top players in general. Let's focus on these guys who work really hard as well. So they should also have their own tournament in general, even if it's just an online tournament. And I know it's not the highest level that you guys can see, but like I'm saying, I promise you that person will have a new fire in his heart if he wins that tournament or he gets top 3 in that tournament. He'll be even more motivated to win a diamond tournament or be part of the diamond circuit, whatever you want to call it. And it's just very good way for growth of the community, and I think that that's something that's missing, and yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that.
You said females should have our own tournament. I don't care. Now, hold on one second. Why do you feel that women should have women only tournament? I actually want to hear from you, right? This is a good discussion, right? Like, what do you feel is the problem with having girls just play with everyone, right? Like, what is the actual problem behind that? Some One Punch Man category. To be honest, it's about a safe space. You see, and that's why I
Yeah,
mentioned that. That's exactly, you see. This is exactly why I mentioned that. And I you didn't even ask the question, but I mentioned it anyway. It's very important to have a safe space for
yeah,
everyone, because again, if you have a child predator in the scene, if you have a sexual harasser in the scene, it makes it worse for women and stuff like that, and,
yeah.
and obviously young children, and you never ever ever want them to feel unsafe. So we're hoping that in the future, let's move forward, right, and be welcoming
Yeah,
to everyone. That's
I
all we can
agree.
do. Like literally, like we're all just talking out of thin air. But let's be real. This is the only thing that we can do. We need to weed out everybody and move forward and just try to be more positive, right? Which is why we're doing this podcast in the first place.
Let's
Okay.
not let's not try to weed out everybody completely though, because you might lose everybody too. Like this. That let's not try to dig in deeper. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause, like some of these guys like that are out there, like they still haven't got caught.
Hold
They've
up.
done. Some of these guys they haven't got caught yet. There's still like a lot of them.
Yeah, exactly. But like,
And
don't let's not get, I guess, personal vendettas. Let's not bring those into the mix. Okay, like, just say what you have to say. If someone did something wrong, then say it, but don't bring other people that didn't really do anything bad down. Like,
I'm
because
ready to just move on.
yeah, exactly. I'm ready to move on. He's ready to move on. I think at this point I might be able to say for most of the community that we want to move on. Okay, and it is what it is.
I am just ready to move on and make some content and then play more video games and be with the fans better. I think that it's just better that way, just to have more and more content. Wait, did I get cut again?
No, no. Well, that was a little bit before, but you're good now.
You know what? Now I know what's causing it, Chris. And I just figured it out just now, dude. It's basically my input sensitivity is like really really high. So if I speak something like very light, they don't pick that up. So now I just put it in the middle, and I don't think I'm gonna cut down anymore. I hope so, at least. But yeah. Oh man, what a fail right there. I just figured it out just now because I keep using the Discord fucking um Discord webpage. I'm not using the app in general. Ugh. So, Chris, you know what? Um, when I came here in March back to America, which is my home as well, I was like, I gained a lot of weight when I was in Asia because I kept eating ramen and good food. Not saying food there is like here is bad. It's just saying a lot of like crazy stuff. I gained like, I'm usually my usual weight is like between from like 160 to 160, kind of like that. But when I was there, I became like 178, 179 pounds or something. So I gained like about 20 pounds or something. And then now when I came back here and I'll eat like steak and other food, I end up becoming like 160 again. So it's like I lost like 18 pounds of like, but like I've always been like that in my life too. And people ask me like, how the fuck did you do that? Like I don't know. It's just crazy. I never really. Did you ever gain weight like bad?
I mean, I'm 180 like 3 right now, man. Like like
What's your usual?
I was always like 165 tops. Like
Oh,
when I moved down here, I wanted to feel good, look good type thing, but freaking coronavirus, gyms are closed, all that stuff, and I'm stuck in this freaking box. So
yeah.
like when I move though, I'm gonna move again. I'm gonna be moving to Vegas, and I'm gonna be having more space. So I'm gonna take working out more serious. Look good, feel good. Look good, feel good. Play some games and freaking. Let's be active. Let's be active. Let's try to make the community better.
Oh man, I'm
So,
really really looking forward to this future.
me
Yeah.
too. I honestly am too. Like I'm dealing with my own heat right now, and I've been stepping away from Twitter for a while, which is honestly a good thing. And of course, I don't have my sponsor, but at the same time, like ultimately this is good. This is good, and we're seeing progress, even though it doesn't look that way. So
Yeah. Yeah.
all
For
we
sure.
can do is look to the future. Look for more opportunities, and I think we can all agree that even the guys that are throwing the stones and thinking that they're awesome, we all need to be better people.
I agree. I agree on that.
We all need to be better people.
Oh yeah, I forgot actually. Who's gonna be our guest next week? Because this is gonna be a weekly thing, guys. Obviously, this is like Chris G's idea to make a podcast. So we just named it this way. But obviously, he's gonna be the decision maker of this podcast in general. But like, obviously, I'm asking you guys your opinion. Who do you think we should have as a guest next week? Feel free to let Chris G know or myself in general about this.
Watson? Oh, oos. I mean, ah, yes and
Like,
no. Like,
I mean, we don't want to. We don't want to. Yeah, you're talking about positivity and moving on. I think Watson has stated that he's moving on from it, so I don't think it's smart to revisit that. And also by next week, we'll probably have some new news already to talk about. Trust me, you're probably not gonna be talking about this thing anymore. Kind
right?
of like
Like
that.
something else. LPN.
Yeah, we can ask about. Yeah, I mean,
Wait,
we
what
say
number
yikes.
did you say? You said like a number 135.
375. He's 375, right? Like in general, right? And that's pretty good already. But I'm just saying, and LPN is pretty good at fighting games, right? But I'm just saying, like, I'm just drop a name. It's not. It's not. I didn't say that as shade or anything like that. But like, I don't really have problem with LPN. I just that's like primarily a joke. But yeah, LPN is pretty good in fighting games. But I'm just saying, if you tell him like, yo, there's a challenge, be top 35 in the world, there will be some struggle on his end
You know,
compared to me. Yeah,
honestly, I would be down to having low tier God if he could control himself. If he could control himself, he would be an amazing guest.
absolutely. I think so too. I think he's an amazing personality. The thing is, I don't know what happened. Is he still streaming? I didn't know anything much about Low Tier God. I just know he's an amazing personality, and he's had a lot of problems with like the platforms in general. So I don't know if your channel can potentially get punished by you having him. I don't know, Chris.
No, actually,
So
wait.
you have to ask that. You have to ask that
Yeah,
question first.
actually, you're right. You're right. I might get in trouble, but if I can
You never
persuade,
know.
if I can
Yeah,
persuade Twitch, and low
yeah,
tier God himself,
yeah. Absolutely.
if we can see a different side to him, like because again, we've met him in person,
Uh
and it's
huh.
it's weird too because he's like the cockiest guy online, but we've met him in person, and he can be very very humble. It's very weird to see. Like
Oh
obviously you could say whatever you
yeah.
want. He's this, he's that, and you might have the right to say it, right? Because he said and done some bad stuff. But If we could get him on, and if he could really just calm things down and articulate things in a way where um he like he can salvage himself pretty much. I think honestly we'd all like to see that. Right, I wouldn't mind seeing that, and I wouldn't mind interviewing him.
No, absolutely. And the thing is, like, we're gonna be open for that. But what if the platform is not open for it, right?
Oh
And
well,
or
then
he's not open for it as well. So
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
then
that's
then
pretty interesting.
Yipes, we could get Yipes.
Yeah,
We could get Justin Wong. Obviously, Justin said
obviously.
he'd be down. Do retirement.
Oh
If
yeah,
do
that's a
if
good one.
do ever wants to talk about this stuff, I'm always down. Before the bad
I love
car accident,
him.
we did talk. We talked for like maybe like 45 minutes, and this was like I think it was 2 days before, a day before the accident. He hit me up and he was just like, "Hey, Chris, like I really want to talk, about some stuff." And like I was like, "Yeah, sure, anytime, buddy." Um, so if Do wants to go and talk, Mike Ross too. If Mike Ross wants to come out of his goddamn shell and,
Yeah.
and stop streaming Dota, then
Look at these guys. You guys, we can't have it. You guys keep asking for Ricky and stuff. Stay away from the DMs, okay? The thirst is real, okay? Right,
get
so
Ricky
we
in
are
here so we could ask how did we get her information.
okay. Okay, I know that most people are like asking about Yipes and Micros, Qtex and stuff like that, but ultimately we'll figure something out, I think. But yeah, I think that would be pretty good to have like a consistent somebody to have to bounce our ideas just that we can interview as well.
Yeah, okay, and also, yeah, Vulgar Ape, you mentioned a good thing, right? You guys open to getting community members from smaller communities like Thirstrike. Yes, if you want, like if there's a prominent member, obviously, of the community that has some news or wants to share some stuff, or even if you guys even want to sponsor the stream, like this is, mind you, this is just like you see the layout, right? It's just blank, okay? Like this is the rough sketch of things, right? First episode. We don't really have the biggest plan right now, but we're going as time goes on. So with that said, we are willing to work with pretty much almost anyone, pretty much almost anything, and yeah, we want the community's voices heard, right? This is why we ask questions, and of course, we're gonna have guests. So if you guys have something to say, if you guys are even like doing some type of online league, we'd like to hear about it.
Oh, yeah, I agree. And we can definitely do a lot of things too. We can do an online tournament that we can cast, etc. It's like we're open to a lot of projects in general. I think it's great. This is gonna be really positive overall. Yeah.
Make a list of players you can get, then make
Let me
people vote. Well, the thing is that we'd have to get the players, right? So it doesn't matter whether or not a person votes to see a person, right? Like you guys mentioned, right? Low tier god, you might not get him. So
yeah.
Tony Cannon, now that's a good one. Get the cannons in there. I mean, that
They
would,
would not do that.
yeah,
They wouldn't.
exactly. They would be great, right? But
We're too small. We're too small to deal with the gods of the FGC. Okay,
the
like we ain't
overlords, the guys.
yeah, the overlords for sure. We're too small for that. They ain't gonna talk to like top players. I mean, they're like the creators of this. You know what I'm saying? Like we are like nothing. So yeah, we ain't gonna get those. Yeah, they're too big. Actually, I'm thinking like I think about maybe punk or something. It's pretty good to
Oh
have
yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. Like
Um,
like character spotlight, person spotlight. We like
yeah,
everyone wants to see drama, but nobody sees the other sides of us, which
yeah,
always sucks. It really does suck. Like being a personality, being an entertainer, being all that stuff, and people don't see the other side to you. All right, they just see the guy where they're just talking crap, the guy that they know of just being a person who just pushes buttons well, right? Like nobody sees what the person's doing when the stream is closed. No one's seeing when the tournament's done,
Ah,
right? And they're eating at Denny's, and it's just them being them. All
yeah.
right.
Actually, Chris, I forgot. Remember we talked about we also want to support like a lot of like fighting game developers, like especially the indie fighting gamers, fighting game creators. We want to support them, and we would like to feature your trailers, to our platforms, to our stream. And so if you guys love fighting game, or you guys are creating a fighting game on an indie level, we would love to show your trailers to our stream, to promote your fighting game. Obviously these guys are um, indie developers, obviously, and they're like they don't have a lot of funding as big as like the Capcoms or the Tekkens in the world, but they love fighting games the same as us, and I feel like we should all always give them a chance, and support their game. And their games, they make some amazing games, dude. Like look at the Fighting Herds, like all these other games that's on Steam right now, and I actually downloaded quite a few of them already. Like there's even like one that like an 8-bit fighting game. I think Rumble Fighter or something. I have that. I have Fantasy Strike. I bought all these games, and I think we should show love to these guys because maybe they can help us. We help them in general, and I think that's pretty good. Like to have a platform like this, especially two fighting game pros talking about a fighting game that's coming out. Maybe someday we can have a legit trailer announcement of like Marvel 4. Who knows? Maybe it
Man,
will be the
imagine
fucking
us. We could show
yeah.
in the trailer.
We are. I mean, I would steal the trailer and show it to your stream. You know what I mean? That would be fucking sick. Leak it before like 2 months before release. The world premiere. I would do it to my channel, so my channel gets banned, not yours. So yeah, yeah, I'll do
This
my
is
because,
the leaked world premiere. Here
yeah,
is
right.
Capcom's 5-year plan, right? What was that stupid thing that they released for
Yeah, they have
MCI?
that.
The
They have
5-year
that.
plan.
Wait, did Justin Wong ask how do we become pro?
You
Or
know what? You know what, Justin?
is that in the
Wait, Champ,
top?
are you sponsored right now?
No,
Oh, am I sponsored right now?
no.
Is Justin sponsored right now?
Many, many yes.
I don't have an answer for you, Justin. I don't know, man. I think.
I get a lot of support though from different companies, but like they're not really what you call like the ones you attach to your name. Like Justin Wong, he's been a pro like before there's even a pro. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, and he's asking, how do you become a pro? Like what? Like he's asking us how to breathe oxygen. Like
How do we do something that I know how to do?
yeah.
I mean, we could always be EMP, right?
You know what's crazy? He said, "I don't have a team. I ain't no pro." He is the goddamn team. So he's even bigger than a normal pro gamer that we have to rely on a team. He's his own team.
He's a sponsor. He is the sponsor.
Yeah, that's why. That's like he surpassed their level already. A different type of like level, like he's just on this. Yeah, so it's just a different tier. Yeah, we wish to be like Jay Wong. You know what I mean? That's our goal. But yeah, dude. Yo, Chris, I actually show you the trailer. If you just show that, it's like a 90 seconds or something. I'm gonna show it in my stream too. It's like, by the way, this trailer, I passed it in your Discord. This trailer is like, this is from uh this is from the Philippines. They're basically like a indie developer that makes fighting games, and this fighting game obviously is inspired with their national heroes. So they're not trying to be like the best developing team for fighting games or anything like that. They just love fighting games the same as us, and obviously they're a small team, not a lot of budget with it as well. So this is like the game is still on like
Wait, you
production.
sent it to me and
Discord, yeah. The game is still production, but it's already available in early access on Steam. So it's like 90-second trailer or something. But yeah, the characters here are basically the national heroes of the Philippines. Kind of like their George Washingtons and etc. So yeah, it's pretty cool for those guys. So yeah.
damn, Champ, you was on billboards.
No, don't. No, I'm not. Don't worry about that. But yeah, but what I'm saying is like that type of thing, bro. That like this game, bro. I'm telling you, like it's they're trying to do their best to create a fighting game, like because they're passionate about fighting games. So I'm asking the fans, guys, to support it. It's very very cheap. It's like $10 on Steam, dude.
All
Come on,
right,
guys.
hold on. Let me.
And it's early access, so the game is not done. So they're still pumping characters, etc., and asking for feedback. They don't have a big team. They don't have a big testing team as well. So if you guys can check that out, I'm gonna play it also in here on my end.
Yeah, give me 1
Um,
second. All right, and
let me do it
I'm
right
just
now.
gonna switch the scenes. Why not? Oops.
Yeah, like this guy.
Oh wow, it's actually up already. Huh, interesting. All right,
Let me do it.
playing it now.
I'm playing it also on my end. It's an indie game. Under production, they're probably like 40-50% done. But it's like, obviously it's an indie, so there's still a lot of things to work on, but they're doing their best to get a lot of feedback from the community, you know.
This is the Philippines make this game?
I wonder what this is my character. I like to play this guy Dre, but this is a ChrisG character. So when I was playing Dre, I end up like loving him. Like he plays like Virgil and stuff. I don't like this character as much, the Rio.
Jojo.
But it, yeah. Short trailer, it's like 90 seconds. Like, but yeah, they put a lot of work on it so far this year, and they're really doing their best to get some support from the international scene. So, obviously, you gotta understand, guys, the game is not done. It's like 40%-ish. So there's still a lot of stuff to work on it. All right, there's still a lot of stuff, but we need people to actually give us real feedback, etc. about it. You know, we do, and we won't be able to do that without you guys' help. You know, it's very cheap on Steam. Go get it. Support the guys. You know, like any other indie company that I basically bought every game out there. But yeah, if you're an indie company, if you guys want to showcase your game, you know, hit up ChrisG or myself. It will help you guys out.
Actually look pretty cool.
Bayani, the name Bayani means hero in Philippines. So Bayani is like in their native language, it means hero. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I think
It's
this was a good first episode. If I do think so myself, if I do say so.
I think it's great. I think it's a great episode, dude. And then we somehow managed to not be negative the whole episode.
Right? Oh man, I was super skeptical. I was like, man, we're definitely just gonna we're gonna blow somebody up. This is why, you know what? I think I know why. I think it's because I put this thing in sub mode only, and I couldn't read the destructive comments that
Great, right?
that would have been awaiting me normally.
Yes. Great. Yeah. Now you bought yourself sub mode, right? And that's so important for you because apparently your chat has been causing some havoc on Twitter. So this is how you protect yourself.
Right?
Yeah,
Sub
great.
mode only.
Uh-huh. Yeah, man. It's great.
All right. Well, this concludes our first episode of The Gods Cancelled with your host FChamp and me, ChrisG. We're gonna try to get more people. We already actually had like a little layout, for a guest, right? So obviously like a guest camera, and
We're still gonna improve on that. We're gonna work on these things.
Exactly. So next week, obviously, we'll have another topic. Hopefully, we'll have a guest by then, and yeah, support us. Donate. We're trying to make things happen. We want things to be official. Obviously, you won't see Champ freaking desynced on my screen over here, talking like a whole second later.
I'm actually surprised that that people don't want to see us like wreck each other. We didn't reach any goal today. Like because I was gonna make you the third place in a 2-man tournament. In our Marvel 3 exhibition. I'm actually surprised that didn't happen.
I think it's because
Just had a donation drive actually. That's
That
right.
that, but also we didn't even announce it. We just did
Just did it. Yeah.
it. we
Oh,
just we just YOLO'd the
we have a whole
stream,
week.
right for our first episode. So again, this is way better than Ultra Chen. Well then, thank you for that.
It's seriously anything Chris does will be better than Ultra David. Not James Chen. I love James Chen. Okay, so just the default. That's just the default. Like
we didn't show for donations enough. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But regardless, if you guys do want to support us, we're gonna try to make things better, bigger, all that stuff, and yeah, it's
yeah.
not bad.
It's great, man. I'm really happy for this progress. I saw we just got to keep this consistent and keep the fans engaged. I think I'm gonna be more active on my tweets about this show, so we can get more ideas on what to talk about, and also the guests that we should have. Obviously, we could always have we can always have Justin, whenever he's free, because everybody would love his insight in general.
We can talk about social media. That could be a whole episode. Like social media in the FGC. I mean, like, first of all, I'm a pro at destruction of myself. So that could be a whole topic in itself, but of course that is not for today because we could talk about that all day.
Oh man, it's amazing actually.
Will we be uploading the VOD? Of course.
They're asking that. We actually need to upload this on YouTube too, but that's on your end.
yeah. I'll be uploading it. You could upload it yourself if you want to as well. But
Fine.
also the thing is, again, like if we ever do reach a goal, obviously I just put 1,000. But if we ever do reach a goal, like we will play whatever game, Marvel 3 or whatever, even if it's not Marvel 3, and you want us to test a game or you want us to showcase a game, like we can easily have something where again we'll play for like a half an hour training whatnot, picking characters, and then you could see both our points of view on how we learned that character and what we're going to be going through, and then we'll just play each other and then comment on stuff. So again, this is just a start, and I feel like with just today alone, this was pretty good, and
Limit.
I have high hopes, for the future of
Mhm.
us, for the future of the FGC, and the future of the show.
Yeah, I think so, man. It's great, and hopefully, we get a lot of like trailers from other, indie
Oh,
companies. It's great. Like we can also
yeah.
showcase positive new indie fighting games, positive, news about fighting games, positive stuff, and yeah, hopefully we could probably announce someday like the Marvel 3 draft tournament is gonna happen. Like like we were able to reach the funds, and that would be some really good news, if we could ever actually do that someday. You know, but yeah.
So yeah, I
Wait,
think
did
if
I
you
get cut?
uh,
No,
if
okay.
you guys stick around, I'm probably gonna continue streaming. Probably play
Me
some
too.
Dragon Ball Z. I'm actually like, I don't know why I am mad tired, dog. But
I'm not. I'm motivated as fuck, dude. I'm about to play some poker with like viewers, with my viewers and some of the guys that's part of my poker club. So I'm actually gonna play with
this
these
guy,
guys.
it doesn't end. It doesn't end for Champ. He's always ready. Champ is always ready. Yo, I would see Champ, right? Like I remember, what is it? Was it Evo? Was it Capcom Cup or whatever? Like I'm down there at like 2 a.m. and like it's just me and Angie, and for some reason, Champ is just chilling at the chilling at the slots, just chilling, freaking by
Dude,
himself, and
oh,
then
yeah,
like,
yeah. How much did we lose there when we played slots?
dog, that was free.
Oh, it's crazy. I think we lost about like $1,000 each or something, or more.
That was such a waste. Oh my god, we never lost so fast. I've never lost anything so fast ever.
I think we lost.
Man, that was bad.
We lost quite a few.
It was a Pungza, right? Pungza too. We just all just collectively just suck.
Yeah, I think yeah, that was the worst decision. Like I think in 2015, um I end up bodying, the Team Japan in the money match for the Marvel 3 with like Ray, Cloud, and Clockwork. And we made about $2,500 plus I beat Duo Kevin in the first 215, which I made another $1,000 plus all the side $100 money matches that I had. So I made about close to 3,000 plus dollars in 4 hours of Marvel work, right? And I said, it's time to run this. I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna run this. So I end up going there 2015. I end up like
Right.
playing the slot machine. I'm gonna run it up, like, So I played the slot machine, $1,000. Right, that shit got completely annihilated in a span because I was betting max. Like $1,000 was gone. It's like, oh well, that's dual Kevin money right there. Who cares? Free roll. Nobody cares. And it's like, okay, let me run it. Let me run it in the blackjack table. I run it up all the way until 8 grand, bro. That shit was crazy. That shit was fucking crazy. That was a grid Evo too. Like that was just a good one. Man, 8 grand, and then Justin Wong came like maybe around like in the morning and stuff, and he was the savior of the wallets. Justin Wong, like, so I ended up giving my money to CJ. So CJ, hold this, take my debit card, take my cash. I do not want to fucking gamble anymore. I'm up. Okay, just give me 2 grand. So I took 2 grand. Okay, so I have cash. Took my ID, $2,000. And then Justin Wong was downstairs. Everybody apparently was losing a lot of money already on roulette. And Justin Wong came, and he's just shown us the light. He only bets on one quadrant, right? So he always will get 2 to 1. But you'll basically get like 12 numbers out of 38 numbers, right? So he was always betting that, and he was always correct. This fool run it up, and he won, I don't know, like 3 grand or 4 grand. I think
I
so.
don't know. I don't know how Justin be betting on those stirs. Like, I feel like that's the craziest thing ever. You have less than a 33% chance. You have like a 31.
Yeah, 31%. Justin Wong is so good at breaking TACs. Now I understand.
Right? Yo, he has like a 31% and he lands it like 3 out of 5 times. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make sense. He actually defied math there because this is what he was doing fucking consistently. And we don't have like a short sample size. We legit have years of
Yeah,
sample size here.
Justin
Okay.
just coming through, just betting 31% and just winning. It's crazy.
He's in the corner, right? He's in the corner, and this is like his chip, right? Like he has his chip. He's holding his $500 chip or like $200 chip. He's like right in the corner. He's looking at this, and then he's like, "Oh, all of us would go there. Justin, what do you think is gonna happen? He's gonna do this." It's like, I feel like the second quadrant is gonna hit. I was like, and I looked at this guy, and I would not believe. I was like, this motherfucker is gonna bet it all again to the fucking bullshit breaking the TAC. Well, guess what? I'm playing it safe. I'm betting on the first and the third. So I countered his ass. So now I have the first and the third, and then everybody bets on the second. Well, I still lose. Everybody won and I lost. So now that's what I learned. Not mess with him. I tried it a couple of times, so now I just joined with him, and he saved all of us. So we all of us end up winning mad money, and then he even bought us food. What's the popular food in Caesars, that buffet? He bought everybody food too. Like that's how amazing Justin Wong is, guys. If you guys don't know, he's fucking amazing.
Yep.
Like
What is it? That comment was Justin Wong is amazing at winning in ways that no one else should be able to.
nobody can do that.
Nobody could do it.
Nobody can do that. Like
It'll be like you flip a coin, it'd be like heads or tails. Justin's like, it's gonna land on its side and get stuck. And then he'll win that. He'll win that bet somehow. And like, nope. It's gonna land on its side.
I should have never questioned it too as well because he always defied the odds. Like do you see like how did he win Marvel 3 that many times with his bullshit ass team? Seriously. Like, I understand his team is not the worst team, but it's definitely not the best team. Like
Just
so
making it happen.
just making it happen, right? So just what I'm trying to say, if he can make that happen in Marvel 3 and having to survive the Virgils and the Phoenixes and the Morgans in the world, and he can do that with that, like anything is possible. So I guess even if he bets on 0, I think I might follow him next time. If he bets on 0, 000, it's like, Ryan, I'm feeling like number 3 is gonna happen. Why 3? Because you're gonna get third place in a 2-man tournament, and then I bet there, like, you just, I feel like he could just make it happen. So it's just sick.
Justin Wong was literally the first player I ever went against in tournament. Oos.
But that's the worst.
Congratulations, man.
It's the worst, dude.
Congratulations. Round of applause for that guy, yo.
Yeah. That'd be crazy. Well, I actually had my very first hater comment on stream.
I saw that comment. Go in and disappear.
This is amazing. That's the first one, and I'm actually happy that I got a. It's my first one.
Yeah, we streamed. What is it? 2 hours? 2 hours, and we didn't really get bad comments. All right.
Really good. Damn, that's some pretty good stats right there, baby.
Right, the best stats.
Mm-hmm.
Share the comment. Yeah. No.
All right. We have to end it, right? So we just gotta resume again next week, and I know you're still gonna continue streaming. I'm gonna continue streaming. So yeah, end it so we can upload it easier on YouTube, because right now we're gonna hit a 2 hour and a half. It will be too long. So in 3 minutes, so we kind of have to like chop it up already. But yeah, man. Thanks, Chris, for having me. As always, you're awesome, and it's your podcast, and yeah, and I'm happy to be part of it. Yeah, but I'll see you guys next week.